You're watching the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Now it's time for the Brent and Austen Show.
One more sleep, everybody. One more sleep. Seems like Christmas is upon us right now. But I'm going to be honest. In Christmas time, where you pretty much know what you're getting, or you have a good idea of what you asked Santa for, Jason Hamby, I have no idea what we're getting.
It's going to be the shock and the surprise of a lifetime.
I have no idea, because we have Santa Claus maybe speaking some truth, maybe throwing some smoke signals. I have no idea. And now when we talk about it, if you want to look at Vegas, which let's go and look at Vegas, because let's be honest, Vegas hasn't lied to the Jacksonville Jaguars fan base in the past when we talk about the NFL draft. Ashton Jeanty is now your favorite. Well, I should say this. He is the favorite to land at number 5.
Okay.
Second is still Mason Graham. Hamby, your thoughts? Because we know how you feel about Ashton Jeanty.
Save me.
Save you?
Yes.
Do you think...
It's all good. We're just going to go ahead and take the guy that nobody's mentioned for the last month. We're going to take Kelvin Banks.
But here's my issue with that, though, Hamby. You say that nobody's mentioned him for the past couple months.
He hasn't been mentioned.
By who?
Who's mentioned him
Mel
now?
Kiper? Well, I'm saying, like, who are we listening to? You mean, like, Mel Kiper hasn't mentioned him? Todd McShay hasn't mentioned him? Spoiler alert, they don't always know everything.
I know, but the guy's not even been connected in any way, shape, or form. And now he's all over my Twitter timeline.
Where is it coming from?
I don't know. I just saw his name 50 times yesterday.
Is this a Dilla thing?
I don't think so.
I don't think Dilla would swing Vegas this much. Right now, you got Ashton Jeanty. Well, once again, this is pick number 5.
That's stop at that line. That's a good line, by the way, for Dilla.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he would swing Vegas this much. So this is a Vegas thing. Banks?
Huh?
What's he talking about with Banks? That's my point. Vegas is saying
no.
Banks?
I mean, Banks has moved up a little bit. But so right now, it's Ashton Jeanty at minus 125. You got Mason Graham at plus 175. You got Tet McMillan at plus 700. He was there yesterday. And now Kelvin Banks has moved up a little bit to plus 1,200. Jalen Walker has fell to plus 1,600.
You like that.
Well, I mean, I think that was the... Oh, and by the way, you and Casey just lost $20 because it's pretty much all but reported that Travis Hunter will be in Cleveland.
Yeah. Well, which we kind of figured, right?
Of course. Yeah.
So, yeah, see, I mean, so... Yeah. I mean, I'm not riding with Banks here, okay? Could be right. I mean, but I'm not riding with a guard. Number 5. I mean, there's got to be some logic here. What's that?
He's plus 1,200. I don't think he's even in the conversation.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it. Unless, again, you bring back trade scenarios and everything else. But
he's probably the truest tackle in the first round.
I think I feel like I've seen stuff that, tackle, move to guard kind of situation if you're going to grab him.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen that. Maybe I'm mixing them up. Maybe I'm mixing Membu up or something like that. I think Membu, they feel like right tackle, right? I mean, we've got so much position flexibility now. And this is my favorite part, right? We're going to take a guy and we're going to move him. We're going to take a guy to fit in our puzzle and we're going to move him. Please don't do that. Austin and I are big on that. We don't like that. It just doesn't make sense. I don't care if you think he can play a position. Play the damn position that you played, right?
Well, with Membu, the biggest thing is obviously the size. He's not the height.
Yeah.
So they think he might be playing guard as well. I mean, when you look at Kelvin Banks Jr., and once again, this is just scouts talking, he's 6'5". Membu, what is 6'4"? I don't know how much of a difference that is, but he's got 33.5-inch arms. So
and Will Campbell's got 32 and 5/8 or something, right? That's the knock on Campbell. It's like he's a shade under 33.
Yeah, Campbell has shorter
which is a big metric. It's like the old metric for 6'3" quarterback in the NFL.
Correct.
Right? Or however, Mojo talking about running backs at 5'6" or 5'7".
Yes.
So, I know you just did this like multiple times, but let me digest it one more time.
You're fine.
Give me the latest odds. Are Genty is minus now.
Minus 125, Ashton Genty, plus 175 for Mason Graham, plus 700 for Tet McMillan. And those are really the three, I think.
Those are the three. Now, what's really interesting here, guys, and this is what I have kind of today on the Mason Graham stuff's wild. So now everybody's off Mason Graham.
Yep.
Like they're all, it's done. Like it's over. Schefter says what he says yesterday.
They're taking off.
And now it's gone. And now everybody's like, Mason Graham, I saw today at 13 on somebody's like insider mock draft or what they're hearing and everything else is like, no doubt outside the top 10 now for Mason Graham.
Really? Oh, I mean, that's what everyone's saying.
Yeah, that's what people are saying, right?
Sure.
So, and by the way, like, you know me, I haven't been all over the Mason Graham stuff. So, like, some of that Mason Graham stuff wouldn't surprise me to see. I think he was a potential faller in this draft based on what people were saying. Because we always have that, right? We always have a guy that's like maybe a little bit higher than people think, and maybe Banks becomes that guy, right? That could be. Membu started to become that guy. Yeah. And then you also have like a faller, maybe Jalen Walker, who's been pushed up to number 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever. Now maybe he becomes a faller in a way. And then same obviously for a Mason Graham because of some of the curiosities. I don't know. Listen, we don't know. But I just think it's I still, and we say this every day now we're all over the Genty conversation, right? That's the buzz, and for good reason. I mean, we've had a lot of good conversations about Genty here in the last couple of weeks, including with Maurice Jones-Drew yesterday. And to me, it's still like really wild, unless I just don't have my finger on the pulse as well as I think I should, that this is a bit out of nowhere, this like from 2.5 to 3 weeks ago to where we are now. I mean, and all you have to do is look at the odds. If somebody did like those fun graphics, maybe we get Daniel Griffiths to do the odds from 3 weeks ago to Jacksonville to right now. It would have gone from like, I remember sharing one with you guys. It was like plus 1,600 one day, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, keep an eye on this now. It might be plus 750. Well, then it's 420. Then it's 380. Remember, it was dropping by like, who goes from 420 to 380, by the way, in Vegas? But it actually happened. Then it was like plus 280. Now plus 220. Now it's a minus. I mean, it is an amazing Vegas switch. And I'm not paying attention to this all the time in the draft, like what Vegas has to say, but that is a weird switch in a 2-week time frame, which has groupthink now just sending Genty to Jacksonville, and I'm still not convinced. It's not one hell of a smokescreen.
Okay, but here's the thing. Like, this is James Gladstone we're talking about. What happened last year with the Rams? Do you remember? In the draft?
In the first round or?
Correct.
With Verse?
What was no, there was a big rumor that they were going to trade like 2 or 3 picks to go to the top 10 to select somebody, and it wasn't a quarterback. Because the original thought was they're going to try to replace Matthew. Look it up. The original thought was they're going to try to replace for Matthew Stafford. Well, that wasn't. Then all of a sudden it got reported. This is like 1 or 2 days before the draft. There's rumblings happening. There's smoke happening. The Los Angeles Rams are trying to trade up for someone who's not a quarterback and sacrifice some draft capital. The deal doesn't get done. That guy was Brock Bowers.
It's for so that was for Bowers. Here's what I have from what you're saying, and I don't know if this is the exact one. There could be multiple. It said Les Snead on Tuesday. The Rams are open to all options in the first round. Dan Graziano shared in his pre-draft notebook, the Rams are among the teams that made calls about trading up in round 1. If the Rams were to move up, it would be to get one of their top targets on defense. Which I guess did the Rams move from 19 and take no, Minnesota moved to 17 for the Jags, not the Rams. So let's see if there's anything else.
Here, there's something on NFL.com. 2024 NFL draft rumors. Rams trying to make a home run deal that would move them up to the top 10 for not a quarterback. It was April 25th, 2024.
And that was that one was for Bowers, you think? Is that what everybody was thinking?
Of course. James Gladstone even said it was for Bowers.
Oh, he did say that?
In the article. You shared the article off of Athletic. Yes.
Joe Phonics says 19 and 52 to move it to 10 for Bowers.
19 and 52 to move 10 for Bowers. Yeah, I don't know. I must have missed that part in the Bowers conversation in the Rams one.
But yeah,
I might have skipped over some of the Rams parts of that article.
There you go.
Which was a good article, by the way, on Gladstone, if you didn't see it in the New York Times. I think it was a lot that we already knew of him.
Yep.
But it was a little bit of a deeper dive and where he's kind of come from and how coveted this guy is and how different he is.
Yep.
So what you're saying is he's not afraid to throw a smokescreen out.
Well, he's not. Well, I think he's not afraid at the last second to switch it up a little bit and cause a little chaos.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening right now.
Yeah, listen. Where are you at in reality versus smoke on Jeanty?
I think it's more reality than smoke.
Hamby?
Smoke.
Oh, you are?
Yes.
Interesting. Said that quickly. I don't come up with a quick answer. Like, I really don't. Sure. And the reason why I believe there's a lot of smoke here is because I think everybody knows that once you start, really probably even at 4, but at 5, you'd love to move back. And there's just not a lot of chess pieces to move back. I think we're all clear on that. I think most people would agree on that. That's what most of this draft would say. The other thing is, when you have this many people talking about stuff, as we get to the week, and where this is feeling and trying to create a buzz. Now that's smoke stuff. Like, the Jags are not telling people who they're picking, folks, okay? The people inside the building know a handful of names probably to have ready, right? To make phone calls. That's how this stuff works. When you're at number 5, you have, you name it, 4, 5, 6 players that you think you can get. You're not going to have Cam Ward. The Titans are playing that, taking him. You know that. Hunter's going off the board most likely at 2 or 3, or somebody's coming to get him, and you're not. You know that. Well, what does that do? That narrows it down to, hey, we've got 3 guys that we really like. Because if we stay at 5, we know we can get that 3rd guy. But we might have 5 or 6 guys just in case something crazy happens and we want to slide back. And then they probably have a different scenario, right, if they trade back to 12 or 14 or something like that. So that's different. But let's just assume they're staying at 5. Well, we know this. I mean, there's a handful of names at the most that they have probably discussed quite a bit in their internal meetings. And sure, I mean, my guess is they're pretty much names that everybody knows, right? That could play. Now, does Kelvin Banks sneak into that list? Is that how some of that information kind of gets out? Maybe, but I don't think so. I just don't think anybody really knows what's coming out of Jags headquarters. I don't think that's in anyone's best interest, other than if they want something out there from Jags headquarters.
Right. But once again, this doesn't have to be about Jags headquarters. This can be about agents and the representation of players.
Do you think they know?
The agents know?
Yeah.
I think there's a reason why Jalen Milroe is going to Green Bay. And if you've been reading about him recently, there may be something to Jalen Milroe going in the first round and him actually going to Green Bay. I'm tired of coughing Pittsburgh. But I think with Ashton Jeanty, maybe his people have some sort of a feel of how this is going to shake out, and maybe it's coming from them.
Yeah.
And so, just because, listen, I think we can all agree that the Jaguars have kept things very close to the best.
Yeah, and normally do.
And they normally do. And I think with James Gladstone, that's actually added another element because now you're not hosting visits. No one really knows what you're going to do. But they've had to talk to agents. They've had to talk to players. They've talked to people. They've done their due diligence. Mm-hmm. And in doing that, sometimes maybe an agent wants to say something. So it could be that.
I mean, listen, we had Maurice Jones-Drew on yesterday, and he told us that he's talked to the Jags, about Jeanty and Bears about Jeanty. And, people, you're right, you do your due diligence. Mm-hmm. But I think also some people take a phone call and say, oh, my gosh, they're getting him, right? People are really strong right now that the Bears want Jeanty. Mm-hmm. Really strong. I don't know if that's true. We'll find out. But if you feel that way out, I just feel like you're coupling that with the idea that the Jags want Jeanty so much and that the Raiders want Jeanty, or at least it looks like it. In the long stretch of the draft process, it looks like it. And then Chicago really wants him. So let's just say they're hot on him, and that's not a secret. And somehow that got out there. Well, now you marry all that together, and you're like, hey, let's make people interested. Mm-hmm. And let's see if the phone rings a little bit. And so I got another question for you. Let's just say the odds are correct and the momentum here for Jeanty. And by the way, we kind of like it. I think all of a sudden now I'm like, let's go on Jeanty. And I'm not that about a running back. I'm not Pete Prisco when it comes to a running back, but I'm not high on a running back at number 5.
Okay.
But I kind of like the idea of this. Or honestly, I like Tet McMillan because I think it helps you right away the most. Both of those kind of moves.
At 5?
I don't care. Yeah, because I think that's the biggest hole. I really do.
Okay.
Now, I'm not predicting that he's going to go there. I'm just telling you. I like that. Yeah. I think that makes you the most better right away.
Most better? I like that.
Is that a thing?
No.
Definitely not.
What would that be? I think just better.
The best.
The best or
most best?
Better?
No.
Or
just
just better?
That makes you the best.
Just
right
better. Yep.
All right. Whatever.
I love the grammar correction from Austen.
Well, hey, man, one of us is in the business, one of us is a freelancer, you know?
yeah.
So
listen, I'm just trying to get through a sentence right now. The asthma is really kicking.
Yeah, man, you're hurting today.
I mean, geesh.
Who did we have on the show yesterday?
Maurice Jones-Drew?
I was just making sure that you could.
Maurice Jones-Drew, yeah. I couldn't get his name out. MJD, Mojo, you name it. What the hell was I saying? All right, so if Vegas is right, if we're all a little bit now like, okay, let's go get Genty. If the phone rings, do the Jags like Genty enough to stay?
I mean, it depends what you're asking for him.
Okay, well, let's just say they get fair value. I mean, whatever that looks like, which fair value to move up from a 10 to 5 or even a 7 to 5 is going to be an extra pick. At the very least, we have some comparisons. Delphonic gives us this sometimes in the chat, like what the move-up rate has been.
Sure.
I don't know how many examples we have from 10 to 5, but I guess just how, if you convince yourself, see, this is what I find interesting. If you're on consensus now, right?
Correct.
And you've got your guys, and you're like, hey, now I see this. I see how this is going to factor in. You can get your guy at number 5, but then the phone rings. It's like, okay, we'll move. Like, so how much do you really like your guy? If it is Genty is the question.
So I think they really like Genty, unless maybe it's like a first-round pick and then like a second or third this year. Then I think they can move back and get a guy that they still like Ted McMillan.
Yeah.
I definitely think that they don't. There's no way they like him enough.
Ted McMillan?
No, there's no way they like Genty enough not to take that phone call and not to potentially move back, especially to 10, where you're most likely getting another day 2 pick at the minimum. Like they're gonna have a lot of guys that they like. Gladstone, I still feel like I get the not gonna flinch, not gonna game on, all that stuff. I still feel like there has to be a natural hesitancy to take a running back with your first pick as a GM, like in the National Football League. Like that is a freaking ballsy play to draft a running back at 5 with your first pick as a general manager. So I just feel like if he can avoid that, with a player that he still loves, I feel like he's going to do it.
I have no idea if it's just because I said this, but Nash Henry, a Jags Twitter person, came across this, and this is the trade. Denver, 5th overall, 107th overall. The Jags give up.
Okay,
5th and would the 107th be a 4th rounder?
Yep.
Jags get 20th overall, 51st overall, which is like a 2nd round pick, and then a 26th number 1 and a 26th number 2. I mean, they would say yes, please. Right away, right?
Yeah, this is like a Jaguars beat guy. Who is this?
I honestly don't know who he is. He just proposed this on. It just came up because I think I mentioned
Austen.
it.
He's a freelancer
He's
too.
Freelancer. I don't know.
It's a guy off Reddit.
I honestly don't know who anybody is anymore. Like I can't keep track of it.
How many followers does he have? Let's see if he's legit. Because that's how he warns substance now.
He puts. I think sometimes puts out some interesting stuff. Now I can't find it.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not following him. It just came up. It popped.
So come in quick.
So anyway, I don't know. Like to me, like I don't know if that's even the fair value. If you put a trade like that in front of me, it's like yes, they're trading back. That's my point. Is like, do you think trade back is still top priority, or getting the number 3 guy on your board at number 5 and this guy that now they're like consensus about? I think that's the fascinating part. Like if you come to a consensus and you're like, wow, we get a star.
I got to go back and see when you talked one-on-one with Liam Cohen, Brent, when he talked about, you got to have a trade partner, got to have a trade partner. I want to go back and listen to that full answer.
Yeah, I can find it. I mean, I don't think it was crazy revealing. I think it was pretty much what you said. I think it was, I mean, you got to have 2 to tango, right? Yep. But it also, I think coming out of there, your interpretation was, hey, man, they'd love to trade back, right? But again, this is not unique to Jacksonville. Everybody wants to trade back. Most GMs want to trade back, compile even more, especially in their early days, like you're saying with James Gladstone. First move, yep. They would love to do that. And especially, I think, if you read up on this draft in totality, because it looks like a mid-first round kind of draft. Mm-hmm. It's not hey, let's go get lottery pick after lottery pick after lottery pick, stud, Hall of Famer. It's not the way this is shaken out in this draft, from at least what people are saying.
Sure.
So I would think it's like, hey, let's get to pick number 14, 15, 16, and we feel like the value meets the player, right? And so then you can compile picks on top of that. That's why I think that would still be their first priority, and I think you bring up a great one. Ted McMillan's probably pretty high on their board. And so if McMillan's high on their board, well, we get him at 14 or 13. I like that now. Oh, wait, maybe Ty Warren's pretty high on their board. Why wouldn't he be? I brought this up the other day. Right. Why wouldn't Ty Warren be high on their board? If Ty Warren's one of the most complete players and best players and you rank him 6th or 7th or 5th or whatever it is, most people got Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, Genty, and Warren is not far behind as the best player in this draft. Any position. Well, then why wouldn't you be willing to look at him too? You're chasing blue chip players right now.
But aren't you set at tight end?
I don't think you're set at tight end. I think you're still.
I think you got Strange, you got Munt, you got Hunter Long that you just brought in.
Yeah, but I mean, you're asking if you're going to pick this guy at number 12. You think he's Bowers or something like that, right? Or like an impact player. Like I know he's not exactly the same as Bowers. I'm just saying he's an impact guy.
Sure.
So if he's an impact guy and a blue chip player, well, you can couple him with Brenton Strange. That's fine. These other guys are here for a year.
Yeah, but I mean, how much can he be an impact player with Brenton Strange on the field as well? I guess is my biggest thing.
Yeah, that's good. We don't know that yet, I guess, in this system. Like we thought Doug could make two guys good at tight end.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not telling you it's the high priority. I'm just talking about going to get big-time football players. 2.5 weeks ago, running back wasn't necessarily the highest of priorities either. But it's an impact football player.
Of course. And the argument with running back over tight end is that running back's going to have a direct influence on the game every single game.
Yeah,
like,
every play.
You're going to have to ask yourself, how are you going to use Tyler Warren? How do you sub him in with Brenton Strange? Who's going to get the target share? Like, there's a lot of questions there. I think with Ted McMillan, put him at 1B or whatever, let him go deep, throw the ball to him.
Yeah, pretty. Let's get to the chat real quick. I know you guys are jumping in early today, so good morning to everybody out there. And let's see. Will Levis was minus 140 to go number 2 overall the week of the draft. Vegas knows how to make money. Delphonic. That's interesting. He was that high, and he went in the second round to follow that up. How do you know who's connected? The new regime is secretive. That's what he's talking about with the bank stuff. Like, yeah, I think the bank stuff is a little bit outside the box. Mm-hmm. Like, if you take a handful of players, and we want a consensus, a handful of players, nobody's talking about banks.
Yeah.
Nobody. Mm-hmm. So that one's a little bit, that doesn't mean it's wrong. Might be a nice little late slide up, but I don't think it's certainly not consensus. I think we already hit on this. 19 and 52 to move to 10 for Bowers was the play for the Rams last year. Let's see what else.
I like this one right here. This is Mr. Pico Boulevard. He says, in all fairness to Mason Graham, he didn't go to Florida.
Well, what does that mean? Good or bad?
I assume they're trying to give him the
Taven Bryan Derek treatment. Harvey.
Yeah. Dante Fowler. C.J. Henderson.
Yeah, that's good. Good call. I don't make that connection. Right? Like I think he just is on its own. I don't really care where they go to school if the guy's good.
Yeah.
Mr. Pico says Malik Willis was supposed to go number 2 for a bit too out of Liberty. It must be a Tennessee thing, right? Like Delphonic says I'd take that trade to Denver in a heartbeat. Yeah, everybody would. I think that was a little bit too much. I don't think people are, but maybe that's a long way up too from 20 to 5. So the more you go up, the more you got to give up.
Yeah.
Right. Glenn C says we fired the Savile and trade up to get Hunter. Still think that's that would be a sneaky play, but it doesn't look likely.
I mean, if you buy into the smoke, it's all but a certainty that Cleveland's taking Travis Hunter,
which is probably more. They're dangling that even more, right? Most likely because that would make the pick richer.
Wasn't in terms it Schefter said that they called him? Or who said that they called him?
They did. They said they were fielding calls yesterday during our show.
That they called Travis Hunter and let him know he's going to be number 2.
Oh, I didn't see that. Okay.
Yeah.
So they basically, Cam Ward and Travis Hunter basically know.
Basically, yeah.
Is what they're saying.
Like. But I don't know if that's really breaking, like, you had to figure, I get you could make a point for Carter, but, like, it was going to be Travis Hunter to Cleveland.
Yeah. I'm a little surprised. Are you surprised at all with the Travis Hunter stuff to Cleveland that he wouldn't maybe balk at that? Like they bring that into play? And I don't want to be that guy because we've had that in Jacksonville. I'm just saying, like, wasn't there some questions early in the process, like with Deion? Was that just about Shedeur Sanders and not about Hunter? About controlling kind of where they would go?
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember how that shook out. I think it was for both of them.
Yeah. But you think Hunter's like, now let's go.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like, listen, you're not going to go number one, obviously, but if you can go number two, like, I don't know how much solace you put into that, but you got to understand when you're that high of a commodity, like, you're going to probably go to a bad team or a bad organization. So he's got to accept, like, this isn't an Eli Manning thing where you can just be like, I'm sitting out.
Well, that was my curiosity. If you're a player, you said, hey, I didn't want to go to Cleveland. You said that with Maurice Jones-Drew.
Of course.
What about the Giants versus Cleveland?
Which one would you rather go to?
Travis Hunter, where are you staying? Where are you like? Because right now they're both kind of messy.
Both messy, but one's New York and one's Cleveland.
So go to New York. You'd pick New York.
Yeah, I just think from being marketable. I mean, you saw what Odell Beckham Jr. did with one catch on prime time.
That's a good point.
How that changed the whole game.
Yeah. All right, so here's the deal. Today, in about an hour, we're going to do like a live mock draft. We're going to go 7 rounds.
Oh, wow.
See what the Jags, like, we have the ability to do that. Apparently, I've asked. Casey's going to help out a little bit too. So we're on the clock.
Okay.
And in real time, basically, we can do it. I guess we can do it pretty quick.
Okay.
It doesn't take 3 days.
Okay.
So we're going to try it. And a little bit later on, Casey, we got Holden Court. Judge and Jury comes out today on the show in a segment in the noon hour. Daniel Griffiths writes about the second round pick today. So, again, a valuable pick for the Jags. I mean, I know we're talking 5 all the time, and then once Thursday night's over, we'll talk about the second and third round. But Friday's a big day for the Jags. They have 2 third rounders, and then early Saturday, they got 2 fourth rounders. But the 2 third rounders, they've got 4 picks in the top 90, right?
Yep.
And Delphonic, that's what we're going to do, man. 7 rounds with all teams. Yes, we are. So anyway, we'll do that.
Austin.
And
what's up?
We will check in on some of our fun things on actionsportsjacks.com.
What did I get Austin for?
I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Okay.
Wait. Wrong thing.
Okay. Oh, well, there we go.
Check that name for me. Check that name for me.
Shelfer.
Check it. Check it.
Is this
No, that's not what I saw. No.
That's not what he saw.
No, my friend told me this. I didn't.
Well, this is what your friend is going off of.
Okay.
All right.
Right on.
Smoke screens galore. You're just happy that somebody else. You're just trying to get somebody else. In fact, I did an interview last.
Dude, it's acting like I'm on Twitter.
I was doing. Yeah, that's a good point. That's actually a good point. Like he's looking on Twitter.
Yeah.
It's funny. I did this young man. He's a Florida Gator, about to graduate, and he came out of Oak Leaf High School, and I did just a little Q&A with him for one of his classes last night, and he brings up when Hamby has like the whole what was it, J.J. Watt one coming out? What did we have recently that you were coming out of?
It wasn't. It was. Was it Hopkins?
Maybe it was Hopkins. It was somebody. Remember we went with it for like 5 minutes, and he was even saying, he's like, I think that's a phony one. He's scarred. Now he's trying to get you back.
Trying to get me back, man.
He's trying to get us back. He wants to score even.
I can give you my friend's phone number. You can talk to them and sort it out. But actually, I might be kind of busy.
All right, let's go take a timeout, and we'll be back. It's gonna be a fun 24 hours. All right, this is where it gets fun.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. And what's going to be real? I give you like Traeger has a mock out. Now the guy. See this. These are the interesting mocks today and tomorrow because everybody now wants to be right. The other ones for the last 4 months have been like clickbait, right? They want to be clickbait. Let's strike up conversation. Let's get Brent and Austen show and everybody talking about it. And but now it's like, hey, I want to be right because we all like to be right. And so, what's the latest information? And honestly, I think this year more than ever, the league ain't talking as much. So I think people are guessing more than ever. Like maybe more than ever. They might guess all the time, but I really think if you see stuff, and by the way, we have more guessers than ever anyway. We have more people pushing stuff out like they're in the know.
Yeah.
Like you look up a guy and like, who the hell is this? And they're like adamant that I have this on authority. Right? Like we have that more than ever. And I think we have more guessing than ever. Yeah. So I'd love to. I'm not sure who's keeping the scoreboard, man, but I'd love to see who's right and wrong on Friday. But do we care about that? We do care about this. Shock Your Mock, presented by Everbank. Everbank Advantage You. We get our semifinals today. Max Holmes, Robert Atzert, Hamby's burner, Jake Scott. Onto the championship round on Thursday, and we've got a busy Thursday we'll tell you all about as well. We'll be right back. When it's time to get a new car for anyone in your family, just remember, nobody but Nimnick, the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Get the latest price breaks on 2023 and 2024 models, or the newest 2025 vehicles in the showroom on Phillips Highway, or shop online at nimnickbuickgmc.com 24 hours a day. GMC Sierras, Yukons, and the redesigned Acadias, or get the all-new redesigned line with Buicks. It's nobody but Nimnick, and part of the reason why is this is a first-class buying experience here at Nimnick Buick GMC. You're not just a customer, you're a friend. This is about getting a vehicle that best fits you and getting you on the road, and also helping you and your family down the road. Nimnick has a treating you right guarantee, courtesy, respect, fairness. The most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnick. Who has put in the most years and stands behind a better experience? Nobody but Nimnick. GMC. We are professional grade.
The schedules are out for another summer of soccer here in Jacksonville with the Armada men's and women's under-23 squads, starting with the ladies and the home opener on May 24th. 2 weeks later, they're back in Northeast Florida for a June 7th matchup. The season wraps up with a pair of Friday night home matches June 20th and the 27th. As for the boys in blue, they debut against a couple league newcomers on May 9th and 17th respectively, with more home dates on May 31st, June 14th, and June 21st. All those matches are at Edward Waters University, and you can watch them live on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. Those teams are a big focus on Fleet and Footy, covering the big soccer stories each week on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
I'll put one in the back of the note for you.
Join us for player profiles, fun interviews, and the very latest on the Fleet and all things footy. That's every Thursday at 2 p.m.
I've been telling you about CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing for a long time now. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. We've had a Connecticut water softener and drinking water system in our home for more than 7 years. You can see the difference whether you're washing clothes, the dishes, or what I like to do most, fill this up for some coffee every morning, and mostly all day. Remember, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Right now, you can get a free Connecticut reverse osmosis system with the purchase of a Connecticut Premier Softener. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and determine your water score. Don't know your water score? CGC will find out and recommend the appropriate Connecticut water treatment solutions so you can improve it. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Ask about our 90-day love it or leave it guarantee. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
There's a saying in sports, you can't win them all, but you can win a lot with good folks on your team. Like that one painter, First Coast. It's tough to beat the sun in Florida, so your home fades. It's tough to beat that HOA when they come calling. Beat the sun, beat the HOA with that one painter, First Coast. And it's a good time to do it. Less rain to work around, and painting in mild temperatures is perfect. After all, the paint bonds to the surface so much better. Give that one painter First Coast a call at 904-417-3557 or look them up at first-coast.thatonepainter.com. Fast estimate, guidance on color and HOA requirements, and the highest quality job you'll find anywhere. Be a big winner in your neighborhood with that one painter First Coast on your team.
When it comes to trucks, I know exactly what I want. And at Bozard Ford, they make it easy to get exactly that. Let's go make this truck a little more my style. With Bozard Built, I can create my perfect truck right here. Lift kit? Check. Premium wheels? You bet. Advanced lighting package? Oh yeah. The Bozard team works their magic. From bumper to tailgate, I'm making this truck mine. It's everything that I wanted and more. From the field to the gym, to weekend adventures. This truck's built for my journey. Bozard built. Customized for your lifestyle, built to exceed your expectations. Check out the inventory and available options at bozardbuilt.com. Unleash your dream ride. Customized, covered, and Bozard approved.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
What am I looking at? I'm trying to digest this.
I think it's just
we got
for
Fred,
some first-round draft picks, huh?
Reggie,
CJ?
Derek Harvey.
That's CJ?
Is that CJ 23?
Yep.
He changed over to 23?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's some
First-round
hits and misses.
Yeah, man.
All Florida Gators.
Oh,
Those are the
okay.
Gators.
You put Dante then?
Did we do this?
Taven?
Did we have this last night in the show? Where'd you get this?
For the draft special.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can say it. It's all right. I was just curious where it was coming. I was like,
People are going to see this again on the draft special and be like, whoa, wait a second. We saw this the Brent and Austen show. What are we doing?
Like, this is, I actually told Hamby today, I said, we got a lot of draft special content.
Yeah.
And these guys put in a lot of work for it, graphics like this. I'm like, hey, let's get some run out of these graphics, not just a one-time runner.
No, man.
Right?
Make it work.
Make it work a little bit. Man, Derek Harvey, I always tell. So here's the story on Harvey, and I just repeat it every year. I remember, you wouldn't, I don't think, Ted Monachino. No, you wouldn't have been here yet. He would have been already gone. I think he ended up going to Baltimore right after. He was a defensive line coach.
Okay.
Really good dude, Ted Monachino back in the day. And
sounds like a defensive line dude, by the way. Monachino, yeah.
I just remember the story being, because they trade up for Harvey. They traded up. Yeah, they traded up. And so when they traded up to go get Harvey, and I guess there was obviously, much like anything else, they were thinking there could be 3 different guys, something like that. And they trade up to get Harvey. The pick goes in. And at the time now, like that, the defensive line coach isn't in the war room. Mm-hmm. Defensive line coach is like in his office, at least the way they had it set up from my understanding. And he got so fired up, and it was like a shorter ceiling. And he jumps up in the air and punched like a hole through like these kind of ceiling tiles. Had to come in and fix it. He was so fired up for Derek Harvey.
Yeah.
He's so fired up.
Yep.
And I mean, Derek, you play with Derek. You like Derek a lot, and I know
like
it's hard
Derek
to
a
talk
lot.
about these guys in this vein sometimes. And Derek wasn't a bad guy. Derek, I always thought, was the smartest dude in the world in a way. He sucked talking to the media. Like, he was awful. And I think he was purposely awful because he didn't want to talk to us. Yeah. And it was very like TJ Yeldon-like, where it was almost like calculated. And so he was so bad that you just didn't go get him. Yeah. Like, it's a first-round pick that you just didn't go to the lot because it's like, this is a waste of time.
Sure.
Like, he would not answer questions, not like in a mean way. Like, he just wouldn't, like Giancarlo Stanton didn't answer questions kind of sometimes in a mean way.
Yeah.
That's why I don't really love him. But Harvey, like, he just was like, he wasn't giving you anything. And so I think it was almost like calculated, like, well, sooner or later, these guys won't talk to me. I ain't going to give them anything.
I mean, yeah, without, like, speaking for him or anything, I guess I'm going to, though. I think because, listen, I got nothing bad to say about Derek Harvey. Like, I understand from a football standpoint of what you sacrificed to get him and then what he delivered on the field. Yeah, it wasn't enough. But I think in terms of, like, talking to the media, I think there's people that, he trusted, and if he didn't really vibe with you, if he didn't really trust you, he wasn't going to put on this facade and like trying to be the typical pro athlete. He was just going to kind of more stay true to himself, where if he didn't know you, if he didn't trust you, he ain't going to give you anything.
Yeah, and I always appreciate this in hindsight, what you say, like, about him, right? Like, this, I think this is important. It's something I've really learned over the years, probably doing the show with you, but other things too. Like, you get to know some of these guys, and I think I've done this a lot more as I get older and my kids are playing ball and stuff, and not at this level, whatever, but it's just like you get a little different perspective. Mm-hmm. And you got to separate, right? You got to separate, man. We've been a lot of good guys that have walked through here, a lot of good people, a lot of good everything else. Just because their performance on the field didn't live up to everything else doesn't make them like a bad human being. I think sometimes we kind of paint that picture.
Yeah,
right. I think people like fans paint that picture probably more than even the media, but sometimes the media even paints that picture.
Yeah.
And so I always have a respect for, especially when we bring up Derek Harvey, which we have over the years, and you always say really good things about him. It just didn't work out, which sucks. I mean, listen, he would love for it to work out.
Yeah.
It didn't work out. And I don't know why it didn't work out, but it never worked out. Like, he was never good. Mm-hmm. And I really don't understand why, because I don't know enough about it, and it was so long ago. But he just was never good. Like, I mean, kind of C.J. Henderson like. Like, Henderson was never good.
Yeah.
Like, I think he had like a pick early on that's like, oh, maybe. But I mean, was he ever good?
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, I don't, because he obviously got here before I got here. And then when I got here back in 2010, like, I don't want to say it was awkward, but like, there was definitely some sort of somberness in the defensive line room because you had a guy in Derek Harvey who they invested a lot to get, and he wasn't producing. And then you have a 5th-round pick from Murray State come in and like take away some of his playing time, right? But once again, like, I got nothing bad to say about the dude because, I mean, I guess he was still getting his money, but like, he couldn't have just said like, okay, well, this guy's trying to come and take my spot, like, screw him. And that happens all the time in NFL locker rooms. People think like NFL locker rooms, it's all like, oh, players trying to help players. Nah, not all the time. Sometimes there's bitterness. Sometimes there's guys trying to look out for themselves and not be team guys. Like, any NFL locker room is going to have that. But Derek Harvey wasn't that dude. Like, if I had a question, you know, he'd help me out. If I had a thing about like a technique, he would show me. Like, dude was a great teammate. Dude was nothing but cool to me, so I had nothing ill will to say about him, but it was weird because of where they took him, and then I had to kind of come in and fill that spot for a bit. It's wild.
Who was the 5th-rounder from Murray State, Mr.
I don't know,
Pico? Coach Ripley says, I guess I was right. I don't usually have a good memory on this stuff, but so he did have a pick, C.J. Henderson, against Carolina in game 1, and then Mr. Pico says he actually had 2 picks in that first game. So pretty wild, right? And then that was about it for Henderson. Like, seriously, that was about it. From injuries to other things, and crazy. To me, that's one of the worst picks because I nailed that, and I love Caldwell, man. But I nailed that, like, in the draft process. I was like, please do not get emotional trying to replace Jalen Ramsey and Yannick Ngakoue, and they freaking did it. Mm-hmm. Like, they did it at 9 and 20 in the 2020 draft. Like, they tried to replace both. Mm-hmm. Like, that's not what you do. You can't do that. Like, you can't get emotional. Like, these guys hopefully won't get emotional. You can't, like, we heard stories going way back, even before, early on, like, to your time frame. Like, we heard stories about, like, Del Rio and Shaq Harris, or more than Gene Smith. I think it was a Shaq Harris Del Rio thing, right when I was coming into town, that they would like build the board out and then somebody would drop or somebody would do this and then they'd shift. Like, they'd kind of like this move, right? Like, whoa. Don't do that. You just did 18 months of work. And then you get emotional and you make a move on like a 5-minute decision instead of everything that you built toward. So that's why when we talk about Gladstone, and we've got to kind of keep an eye on this. He says we've got to be disciplined about what we believe in, essentially, is what he says. That's not the words he says it. He says it a lot more eloquent than I do. But discipline about his belief, right? About their ecosystem, about Intangibly Rich. Well, will they be that way? Because this is an emotional game. I've got so many good things coming out of this building right now for the Jags. People are really saying a lot of good things about what's going on, the energy, the vibe, the 180 of what it's kind of felt like in the building. Almost like this warmth rather than that coldness that kind of represented bulky, right? Mm-hmm. It's a good place to go to work every day. Mm-hmm. Like those kind of things. That's what I'm hearing out of the Jags building. But what I continue to remind the people when somebody tells me that is, okay, what happens when it hits the fan? What happens when there's adversity? What happens when it doesn't go the way you planned it out, even though you have a nice plan? Sure. And that usually happens on Sundays in September and October, right? That's why we see the pivot from the preseason to the regular season where the building gets like tight. And can they operate the same kind of way when the crap hits the fan? And the draft this war room might be the first test of that.
Yeah.
A little bit of adversity where it might not go exactly the way you want. But even then, you can at least figure out plans. I think the real adversity comes, in the football season.
No, without it, it definitely does. Like, listen, I'm going to say this, though. I get the whole emotional element, and you probably want to be a little more analytical than you want to be emotional. But what's the difference between what the Eagles did and what the Jaguars did in terms of addressing their cornerback needs, not with one, but two guys in back-to-back rounds who people want to say the Eagles reached on.
Yep.
And C.J. Henderson. What's the difference? Except they spent, that would be like Dave going, all right, we'll take C.J. Henderson, and guess what? Let's go ahead and re-up again and take another guy in the second round.
That's fair. That's a good point.
I'm just, and I'm not making an excuse for it. Like, yeah, you should have drafted C.J. Henderson where you drafted him, obviously. But my only point is that sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't.
That's a good, listen, I like that. That's a really good point. I'm going to say, here's my answer to that.
Okay.
And I know you're high on the Eagles guys, right? And that's okay.
Yeah.
You can be, and maybe you should be. And maybe these guys were good players if they came to Jacksonville. I think the situation is so different, right? In 2020, you're rebuilding the roster, right? I don't know. They're kind of rebuilding the roster. I think they were kind of in a middle stage. They hadn't completely ripped it down because they would eventually go 1-15.
Correct.
That's when you're kind of ripping it down. But it definitely wasn't. The Eagles roster, my point is, if you put these two guys in at pick number 22 and pick number 40, you make those guys look really good and acclimate so much better because you've got a really good football team around them. And that's okay. That's not a knock on them. They came along. The Jean was not right away guy for them. He came along after a third or halfway through the season and then really just started to get better and better and better. Why? Because we all would play better if we have better people around him. I mean, the best advice I ever got is if you want to be very successful, put the best people around you. Right? That's the best advice that anybody can get if they're building anything. Well, the same goes for a football team. If you've got really good players around you, they're going to elevate you too or hide some of your warts. The problem with Jacksonville over time, they've asked too much of their top 10 picks. They've asked too much of their people that they're bringing in to save the franchise, put it all on their shoulders, help flip it around, because they're not in a situation that's so good. And I think, so C.J. Henderson goes to the Eagles, and they're built that way, or whoever was built good at the time, maybe it's the Chiefs or somebody else, maybe it really works out.
Yeah.
Because he has a foundation where to work from, where there's not all this on him, to have to do it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it comes down to more of a mental thing with C.J. Henderson, right? I mean, we saw when he got drafted, he didn't look the most pleased, and people made a big deal about that.
Yeah,
but,
I did.
Yeah, I mean, I
he had
just
some
think,
issues. I mean,
no, he had some issues, but like, listen, I just think the cornerback position is one of those positions where I just think either you have it or you don't. Like you can be a good cornerback on a bad defense and still do your thing. Now it's not the easiest, but like, yeah, it helps if you're Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean playing with that Eagles defense. But I think if Cooper DeJean goes anywhere and is that slot corner, I think he's going to have success regardless of what team he plays on.
Yeah. And we just don't know those things. That's why we talk situationally, but you might be right. It might just be, as Hamby's Burner said, they're better at evaluating talent. Well, here's the funny thing about this, okay? So. The funny thing about this is part of their evaluation team is Dave Caldwell in Philly.
Yeah.
Like he's pretty high up on their scouting staff. So, I don't know. I think that's a really good point you bring up, though. Like, they swung. Right? They swung and they missed. And I just felt like they were in chase mode. It was so obvious. I mean, we were doing the show. I mean, it's just obvious that they were trying to replace because there was so much emotion tied to the whole Jan situation. Remember, we talked about it on a daily basis. And there was so much emotion tied to the Ramsey situation. And so, like, it was just so obvious they were going to go try to replace, and instead of just getting best players in that 2020 draft, which I think there were a lot of good players to be able to still get that they missed on because they were maybe tied up in, okay, how do we replace this position? Like you sit there and all the time, people will be like, best player available. Well, they didn't. They went need. They didn't go best player available. They went need. Now, by the way, there's stories out of that draft class that they had Kelvin Banks Jr. in the top 10 and we're happy they got him at number 20. That was a hell of a misevaluation.
I would say so. Yeah, just a little bit.
Did you guys, part of the article yesterday on Gladstone, did you see the whole Blackwater topic? So like the JARS system is something that they use for like in the Rams. That's what they labeled their talent evaluation system. I think it combines the analytics and everything else and more or less how they kind of put their play call sheet together. that they're calling it, this play call sheet for the draft. And I guess the one they're calling it Blackwater here. So I think that's something you're going to hear a lot now.
Okay.
Like the jars thing, if you listen to people ask like Les Snead and talk to Gladstone in hindsight about the Rams, they'll bring that up. Like I'll be like, what the hell are they talking about? And then it's like, that's what it was.
Okay.
And I think you're going to get to a point where like we know Blackwater as like a pretty common term around here.
Okay.
And the way this is done. It's going to be interesting to hear these guys talk about the process after the fact.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, and what went into it. And I think that's where you'll get more of that. And also just some of the things like this play call sheet to me is fascinating. I know it's like a little thing, but I think it's like different way to articulate things, communicate things. We're talking about elite communication, right? Well, like Cohen was really good about it. He's like, I understand it.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a call sheet that for the draft, and I get it.
Yep.
Like you're making me understand it.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. And that's what communication's all about. Like if you can not do everything the way it used to be done.
Yeah.
Like it's okay. Now you don't change for change's sake. But what's the balance between not doing everything the way it used to be done? This is a better way to do it. This is a better way to communicate. It's a more effective way to communicate, more effective way to get the building all in the same mode. Yep. So a lot of fun stuff coming out of there. By the way, and again, I just reiterate, there's a good vibe in there. And hopefully we get a chance to talk to Tony Baselli tomorrow. He's scheduled at noon on draft day here on the show. And I think that would be fun to see kind of if you feel that from Tony, like that vibe. There's got to be a little nervousness too.
Yeah, I mean, it's your first impression. There's got to be a lot of nervousness. But I also feel like, and we've talked about this before, I mean, you're in a good spot with who you're picking.
Yeah.
You know, like a lot of things could happen. Let the draft come to you, whatever the cliche verbiage is, but like you could be in a worse spot.
Absolutely. Delphonic, yes, I know jars isn't the same. I know they're two different things. Sorry if it came across like it was the same thing. Yeah, jars is the system. But, I mean, the whole play call sheet is just one of those, another unique thing, another thing that you're going to hear a lot about, and you already do, the way he sets up their draft board. And that was one of the things that the Rams folks just really liked about Gladstone is kind of how he presented everything and put things together. And now Snead's a big part of that, too. They beat to a little bit different drum.
Well, yeah, I like it because here's what I like about Gladstone. Snead is definitely more old school in the way of his draft thinking, right? Of like what he looks for, I believe, in players. He's old school with that. I think James Gladstone has that old school approach, but he has the new school communication. So you're almost getting the best of both worlds where like you're trying to convey Snead's message, but you're doing it in a more condensed, easier, digestible way.
That's a good call, yeah.
And you would see him like at a press conference, James Gladstone, and think like, this guy isn't old school. This guy doesn't, like he looks like a kid. Let's be honest. Let's call a spade a spade. He looks like a kid. But I do like the fact, and once again, I don't know this for a fact, but like just the vibe that I get off of James Gladstone and how he approaches the game and how he comes across. He's almost like an old soul, kind of like a Jason Hamby.
Yeah.
But he's really great at communicating.
Yeah.
Well, so is Hamby, but
Well,
push the right buttons though.
Yeah, he's just really good at. You're right. He's really good at communicating. What the thing that both these guys have is that emotional IQ that everybody was talking about, right? Like I like that too. Like I think that's a pretty cool thing. Delphonic brings up Temi, who Maurice Jones-Drew talked about yesterday. Like he's there. He got that guy on his team.
Temi, the old tight end.
I know. Every time that I see that same thing.
Gosh, that was my late tight end flyer for like 4 years in fantasy.
But yeah, now listen, these guys are really good, but it doesn't mean they're going to be right? Like it feels like they're really good. It feels like we like the system. We like the freshness. Are they going to be right? That's a different story. Let me just get to this before we hit a break. Fire Liam Cohen already? Like we already got a Fire Liam Cohen guy?
Who's saying this?
Well, this is like his handle.
Oh.
Obviously, I don't like the Cohen stuff, so I don't know where this is coming from. But anyway, I think it's an interesting, at least, comment because it's something we've talked about. Okay. He says the war room will be Liam Cohen calling the shots and Gladstone sitting in a corner twiddling his thumbs. Why is everybody forgetting what they told us the power structure would look like? And I think that's now I think he's being tongue-in-cheek about it and everything else, but I actually think it's an important storyline.
Okay.
I think and we've done this a couple times already this week, where you've got to remind yourself this is coach-centric, right? Like we asked, why wasn't Baselli out at the pre-draft thing? Well, it's coach-centric. It's Cohen, but this is also Gladstone's time. Like you let people do their jobs.
Sure.
Like he is the player procurement guy. Mm-hmm. And so procurement's a great word, by the way, Hamby.
Love that.
And so you let them do the job. It doesn't mean he doesn't have a voice, but he's not, when Tom Coughlin is in the war room with Dave Caldwell and Doug Marrone, mm-hmm. I feel like Tom Coughlin is like leading the room. Like my visualization of the war room is like Tom Coughlin's the voice, and he's leading the way. Think about any meeting setting that you have, and then, we go from there. My vision of what Cohen is he's the guy that introduces the meeting and then maybe hands off to Gladstone right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So and so I think he's going to let him do his thing. Mm-hmm. And all this is collaboration. This isn't heavy guy in the room is my point. Mm-hmm. Like that's where the collaboration part comes in, especially early. Mm-hmm. At some point down the road, does somebody get a little bit of an ego check and say, no, I'm making this pick? Maybe, but I don't think that's now. Yep. I don't think that's his first one. I think this is a honeymoon. This is still, we're dancing together. Sometimes that stuff splinters down the road, but not right yet.
Yeah.
So, Delphonic says, I don't think that's 100% true. I think if Gladstone and Baselli really like someone over Cohen, they would have the numbers to get their guy and vice versa. Yeah, but that's the collaboration part.
Then Ethan Waugh comes in and rolls over all of them.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that the biggest thing is who has the final say. Like that's a fair question to ask. Like if it's Baselli likes some guy, and this isn't, I'm just for the sake of the argument. Baselli likes one guy, Gladstone likes one guy, Liam Cohen likes one guy, and they're all different. Then who wins that argument?
I don't think it's a 5-minute conversation.
Sure.
And I think what's important to note here, guys, is this all happened already over the last month. Like those conversations are already in bed. There's mm-hmm. consensus right now. Mm-hmm. Like now, like you're not having that in the draft room tomorrow, is my point.
Well, but you can if you get a trade-off,
Well, my guess, though, Austin, is you've gone through almost every plausible scenario.
Gotcha.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, that's why they've run all these exercises and they run these scenarios. And I guess shame on them if they haven't. So you take the emotion out of it. So you take that out of it. So you don't have an argument in the war room when the camera's on. But that's still a good question. It's a fair question. I don't know. Here's the thing. Like, I think that's more like, okay, Cohen, give me your case. Baselli, give me your case. Gladstone, give me the case. Mm-hmm. And then let's hear it. And who's talking no different than if we have an argument here or a debate on the show. Mm-hmm. Like, who are you going to agree with? Who do you think? Have I flipped you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like those kind of things. Like, okay, that makes sense, but I'm still stuck on my guy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that part I don't know. I don't know. And especially don't know this year because this isn't Gladstone's team in terms of the team of scouts that he put together.
Yeah.
By next year, it's like, okay, well, my guys have done all this work for 18 months. Mm-hmm. Or 12 months.
Yeah.
And this is the system we're playing out of. And my guess is, listen, I don't think there's an easy decision here. I don't think it's like, this isn't Trevor Lawrence going number one.
Yep.
So there's got to be debate. And somebody probably at the end of the day is going to come back and be like, oh, I told you so. Like, that's kind of human nature in this, right?
Yeah.
Especially if this doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Well, that's how you start getting this.
For sure.
That's why buildings are toxic.
Yep.
Robert says, Cohen has said in the past that his job is just to coach the players. Baselli said his job is to support. To me, that means Gladstone has final say on who is picked for Cohen to coach and Bo to support. Keep in mind, Robert, the whole organization, Schad and Baselli and even Gladstone have said, our job is to support the head coach. That's the biggest picture one. It's a coach-centric. It starts with Cohen. It really does. It starts with Cohen, how he wants to run his offense, how he wants to run the culture of the building, what signs he wants to hang. We support that. And then it trickles down from there. But it doesn't mean you can't support Gladstone in this process if he's the lead guy. Mm-hmm. No different than, hey, you're going to support, Cohen's going to support the special teams coordinator. He's not going to jump in and say, oh, no, I think we should do it this way. He hired the guy to do his job. So I think it works. I mean, that part's pretty easy. We don't have to think too far outside the box here. All right, Brent and Austen Show on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 Network. Shock Your Mock Semifinals. And then we're doing a mock draft live on the show. And you guys have to help us. Who are we going to consensus and pick. Not just the three of us, but all of you. We're going to do this live.
This is going to shut the stream down. I can't wait.
We're going to do this at 11:30. We will...
and then join us back at 12:30 when we get the stream back running. There's no way this bandwidth is going to be able to be handled.
We will figure it out. We're going to try it, folks.
I can't wait.
Try anything on the eve of the NFL Draft 2025. Most of us know how to throw. But you need to know what to throw. I'm not talking about footballs, baseballs, softballs. We're talking about those items you need to recycle. Republic Services explains it easy. Recycling simplified. 1. Know what to throw. When in doubt, throw it out. 2. Empty, clean, and dry those materials. It takes an extra minute, but it makes a big difference. And 3. Don't bag it. This makes the recycling process faster and more efficient. This is a look at the Republic Services North Florida Recycling Center. You can make this process even more efficient. By utilizing those 3 steps, Republic Services can help you become a better recycler in your home. Learn more at recyclingsimplified.com.
For the game day hustle and every day in between, juggling my show Jags Social to going under the Friday night lights and a social life, it's a daily tournament, but this ride, MVP status. The all-new 2024 Lincoln Nautilus isn't just my car, it's my personal locker room, office on the go, and VIP lounge on wheels. Let's talk tech. My profile remembers everything from customizing my dash display to setting the ambient lighting and my signature scent. And wireless charging, essential for live tweeting scores. Whether I'm packing for a beach day with friends or heading to the gym, there's space for every passion. After dominating all day, this becomes my recovery zone. The massage feature is like having a personal PT on call. Life's a non-stop game, but with this ride, I'm always on my A game. The 2024 Lincoln Nautilus. Drive your passion.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242. You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing. Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Save 10% off any water heater plus no trip charge. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. For a limited time, CGC is waiving the trip charge on all related plumbing calls. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579. Action Sports Jax is the biggest brand in Jacksonville, and we're excited to add another partnership for this team's biggest season yet. Action Sports Jax 24/7 is now the official streaming network of the Jacksonville Sharks for their 15th season.
The Jacksonville Sharks are your champions.
Are you about to graduate high school and haven't decided on what you want to do when you get done? Well, one option is to apply to become a student in the Electrical Training Alliance of Jacksonville. Their program offers structured classroom and online training, along with on-the-job training so that you can earn while you learn. Still not convinced? The folks at ETA Jax are a tuition-free 4-year apprenticeship program. There is no tuition and no student debt. Just pay for your books and your fees. That's it. Now, speaking of pay, Students, they start off making $40,000 per year, including benefits, and they graduate, get this, making over $80,000 per year, including those sought-after benefits. Now, that sounds pretty good to me, and if that sounds good to you, it should check off a lot of boxes. So head on over to etajax.org and apply by May 15th. Again, the website right here, etajax.org. Don't wait, apply today.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austin Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
I feel like we should just start like posting Dilla yard line Yoda tweets and really do like a whiteboard scoreboard. Like really do it. Let's just see what happens.
Like keeping track of like the percentage rate, the hit rate?
The hit rate. Like just for fun. I mean, we're going to do this. We're going to lean in it. If you guys are going to comment every 5 minutes about what everybody's saying,
dude, I
like,
told you,
fine,
man. But I've told you before on the old show, we should do a thing like where we start a rumor, like just an outlandish, wild rumor, like the day before the draft, and we see people actually like pick up with it. If you can, like make it to like the national audience.
No doubt.
Well, why don't we do that?
It'd
then,
be
man?
easy.
Yeah.
What would it be? Let's come up with one.
I mean, honestly,
about an hour ago on the start of the show, I talked about the trade stuff.
Do you want? I mean, if you want to get like the heavy hitting thing, that there's trade interest for Trevor Lawrence. You saw it happen with James. You saw it happen with James Gladstone and Jared Goff in L.A. They got rid of Jared Goff for Matthew Stafford. There's rumors that the Jacksonville Jaguars could be interested in like Sanders or somebody, and they want to offload Trevor Lawrence. Now, it wouldn't make any sense at all, obviously, but people would eat that up.
They would.
Oh, yeah.
And we've already kind of had it, right? A little bit, Trevor and Trayvon.
Yeah.
But
the Trevor thing was like Pittsburgh, right? Wasn't that like the whole?
I think it was.
Pittsburgh was interested? Yeah.
They had made calls. Right? That was that guy.
Yeah. Team to keep an eye on, Brent.
Team to keep an eye on.
Coach Ripley. Yeah.
Well, so I think maybe a little bit, I think we could still make one go, but a little bit maybe more realistic.
Okay.
Is to say like, I mean, you could probably do something like Tyson Campbell.
Okay, sorry. Now I'm reading the chats now.
Tyson Campbell to the Giants or something like that.
Tyson Campbell to the Giants.
With the fifth pick. And the idea is they're moving up to they're going to get either Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Yep.
Like, that would be, I think, a sellable one. I mean, Travis Etienne, you could also play off that. And I think some of that's I think people have already thrown that smoke. Yeah. Just be like, okay, they're already going to.
I mean, honestly, I think the one could be they're going to trade Trayvon Walker for Jalen Walker. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so make room for Jalen Walker.
One to keep an eye on, a Walker switch. Pac-Man Jones made a video yesterday about the Jaguars trading Trevor and drafting. Really?
Nah, I didn't see that. I really don't
I got to go online more, man.
Stuff. I mean, there's just so much. Coach Ripley, this is intriguing. That's intriguing. I would listen. You're right, you would about our trade stuff. Absolutely, you would. Like, we really could. You could do that. Now, I don't want the calls from the Jags coming in after. Quite frankly, I'm too busy today and tomorrow. But you could easily do it. And I mean, that's what goes on this time of year. Like, that's what people will do.
Mm-hmm.
They'll reach a little bit just to say you're right, and we'll see. We'll see. And by the way, like, you hear stuff. I always say this: you can hear stuff, you hear it once, but do you really know? You can hear a lot of stuff, but you don't really know. Mm-hmm. Like, do you know? Yep. And that's what I want to do a little bit tomorrow, right? That's a little bit of tomorrow's exercises. What do we know? Or at least what do we think we know? I think that's a better place to come from than, I heard this. I heard that. I heard this. I heard that. Yeah, whatever. You heard what people think.
I don't know. Pac-Man had his own like show going on. I haven't heard the name Pac-Man Jones in like 6 years.
How about the all the hate for the Shadur Sanders report? You see that?
Yeah,
we don't like. Like, I don't like that stuff. Like, what? Why? I think I just saw something else. Did I see something else today on Abdul Carter? I don't want to make this rumor up. This is not what I'm reporting. But I thought I saw something else about, like, this is where you're going to get people from either a smoke screen or somewhere else where you start saying bad stuff about people.
Well, I haven't read anything about Abdul Carter, but I have heard that the interviews haven't gone the best.
Well, there you go.
I mean,
that might be good. I mean, that might be true. So, all right. So this is what I got. Oh no, this was a joke. Sorry, that was totally a joke. I won't repeat that. That looked like one of those phony things, so I won't repeat it. But so maybe that's what I saw too, though. Some of the interview stuff. But that's what you get. But I think the Sanders one felt a little over the top, man. Like they hammered him. Or whoever this report was hammered him.
Yeah. It was, well, this isn't the first time this has happened either. Because remember, like, Dion was going to threaten to come out and say who the source was.
That's right.
And then I guess he didn't, which I wish he would have a little bit. Because
you said that all along. Yeah.
Because we're talking about, like, whether it's true or not, why put it out there?
Yeah, I don't
because
like that.
What do you have to gain? Because either you've got some intel that's bad about a player, so let some other team draft him and make that mistake. Like, that's a competitive advantage. Or you're just full of you-know-what, and you're trying to help your own team out and draft them, and let them fall. Like, either way, it's not a good look.
Yeah, I don't like the look of it. I don't like that part of the game. It's as stupid as the NFL Combine questions, in my opinion, right? Do your homework instead of ask dumb questions.
Yeah.
But that's called gym teachers asking questions is what I say.
But of all the players that I've heard Abdul Carter has had some bad interviews.
Yeah.
Take that for you.
What's interesting, like Mr. Pico says, I'll take bad interview over bad player, and
exactly,
and so will I.
Watch the film.
Well, listen, I say this all the time about Joey Bosa. I've shared that experience. Like I interviewed him at the draft. And I was like, oh boy, don't take this dude. It's like that's really what I said. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like my first impression was like, no. Now, guy was a pretty good player.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I say about my lesson learned there is Ted McMillan.
Okay.
So Ted McMillan, there are some people just like, I don't want Ted McMillan based on what he said in that interview. Like I don't watch film or I don't want whatever. I mean, it was a 5-second thing, or maybe it was even a little bit longer.
Sure.
I just don't stock that up too much. And the reason why I don't is because, again, you're talking about 18 months of research. That you're supposed to do. If you're doing your job, if the Jags are doing their job, let's just talk about the Jags here, that they need 18 months of research. Yes. They've vetted the dude out. Now, the Jags haven't been great at vetting people out over the years, from Justin Blackmon to C.J. Henderson. But if you do your job the right way, you vet people out, and you're like, yeah, whatever, that was just a comment. This dude loves football, and here's 15 reasons why he loves football, right? Oh, by the way, he's produced 1,300 yards and 80-something catches and however many touchdowns back-to-back years. That's pretty damn good, too. Production, intangibly rich. So I don't know, man. Do you put it into more stock into that stuff than I do? I don't want to dismiss it, but I also don't want to give it too much credence, I guess, is my point over tape and other things that they might be digging around on.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we've talked about Cam Ward saying that Treylon Burks is a top 5 wide receiver. How see, I think this is kind of the issue with society these days, is that we take what players say like 100% at their word, even though, like, listen, if me and you were hanging out, Brent, if we're playing Pac-Man or whatever, we're having a brewski, which, is few and far between, but if it happened, like, we would probably joke around and like laugh a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And not be 100% serious. And maybe in that video, Tet was maybe, doing a little bit of the same thing, but we want to take him for, okay, well, doesn't love the game of football, like all this stuff. And like, yeah, I don't put too much stake into that as well, so I'm kind of with you here. But once again, like, I think you'd have a better idea if you met him at the Combine or like the behind-the-scenes interview. Like, team's going to have a really good idea of what kind of guy he is, what kind of player he is by the interview process, not by what he said on, whatever, a minute podcast clip.
Yeah, I'm not either. I don't think I've ever asked you this. Do you know if anybody... Obviously, I don't know if it's different being drafted a little bit later in the middle rounds compared to the first round and the amount of research that goes into everybody, but I got to believe there's 300 and something draft prospects out there or whatever, and you're one of them, and so you got to do your work on almost anyone, right? I mean, you got to red flag people, you got to medical people, you got to dig into their past. I'm not sure if I've ever asked you, did you ever find out, like, somebody got a call about you that teams made?
Oh.
That you were like, wow, they called you?
Yeah.
Not just your high school football coach or Murray State coaches or your position coach.
Yeah.
But like one of your uncles or something like that.
So, yeah. No, that's an interesting question. I've never found out anything about that. but I'm under the impression that if you're a later round pick, they don't spend so much due diligence on you.
Yeah.
And I think I've told this story before, but I'll kind of reiterate of what I'm talking about here. I'm not going to say the guy's name out of respect for him, but when I was in Pensacola training for the Combine, obviously there's a lot of guys that are training. It's one of the biggest, Combine performance centers, API it was called at the time. And there was a wide receiver. Once again, not going to say the name, I'm not going to say who he was from, but there was some alleged allegations that, he went through some stuff in college. So we go to a restaurant to eat. And a waitress comes up to us and says, hey, are you guys, because, obviously, like, who we're traveling with, like, we're some big dudes. So you kind of have the point of who we are, right? And she goes, oh, you guys are from API? Yeah, training for the Combine and everything. And she goes, oh, do you know blank blank? And we go, yeah. And then the guy that she was referring to wasn't with us at the time. And she goes, oh, interesting, because there's some creepy-looking guys that came in here and were asking about him. So then we're like, okay. And what it was is, and this wasn't just one restaurant, there was a private investigator that a team hired to kind of like follow around this dude that was considered more of a high draft pick to see how he acted in public and how he treated people.
Wow.
And like this waitress kind of like, because she didn't know what was really going on, but she kind of like tipped us off to it. And then we bring it up to the player. And he's like, oh, yeah, man, that's just some teams that they're probably going to have people watch. Like, he knew what was going on.
Wow, he knew it.
So he was self-aware.
Wow.
Because I guess his agent kind of clued him on it. But, like, this is what I'm talking about, though, Brett. Like, teams hired a private investigator to follow around this guy to see how he acts in public.
Maybe the Jags should have done that a couple of times.
That's the due diligence, though. That's what teams will, especially with high-valued, high-priced players.
So you didn't sense any private investigators in the back 40?
Nope, not at all, man. Maybe there should have been, right? Maybe there should have been. Hey, Brett, and if they were there, didn't notice them. Just having too much fun.
That's right. They're probably drinking with you.
Yeah, maybe.
I got the Pac-Man video if y'all want to react to it.
Give me 1 second before I forget this. This is totally a random thought, though. I actually think it would be a hell of a lot of fun to hire a private investigator for somebody. Like maybe it's Hamby.
You
got to know it, but we'll just hire a private investigator to give us intel on Hamby, right? Like, so we have him cover him for go follow him for 2 weeks.
Is he really sleeping? Yeah.
And so we didn't come in and we're like, Hamby, why were you at Costco at 4 o'clock? Yesterday. What were you getting?
PIs, lie detector test, Brent. We got to do it.
How expensive is a private investigator?
It's about to be the dog days of summer. We got to come up with some new bits.
That would be a fun one.
Yeah.
One other note before I forget this one. Penn State had 12,218 hot dogs eaten yesterday at their baseball game. Dollar hot dog days. It's unbelievable what people will do for just because it's $1.
It's a deal, man.
They'll actually go to a baseball game and consume a lot of hot dogs. Delphonic's chipping in on the PI. I like this.
Generally, hourly rates can range from $75 to $300 an hour.
Oh, that's actually if you start at
how much we talking here? 75 to how much an hour?
It's 300.
Ooh, I mean, okay, so we're not gonna get the top brass one here.
Anybody want to train to be a PI?
Yeah, like a PI intern. Is there any interns? Is there an internship?
We'll go $40 an hour.
Yeah, how about you get college credit, Brent? You can't put a price on college credit. Come intern for the Brent and Austin show as a PI.
We'll have to check with our lawyers. Is it illegal to do something like that, to follow somebody around? I mean, Delphonic, come on, man. If you trip in $5 an hour, we can get 25 people to do that. And we're good.
Yeah, Coach Ripley.
See that? Let's go.
No,
I've also had the FBI come and check on former players.
Oh, yeah, man.
Well, what did they do, first of all? And secondly, that was for, I don't know how you hire the FBI to do that.
Oh, I don't know if that I mean.
Or maybe were they coming because it was really something up.
Mm-hmm.
That's an interesting one. I'd have to dig a little deeper on that one, Coach Rippey. All right, let's Pac-Man Jones. Let's give him some credit for whatever this is about to be.
I can't wait to watch this.
I got a lot of good.
Is he serious?
It's right down in Duval.
Hey, good Duval.
That's great.
Way to get Trevor Lawrence up out of here.
Really?
Those are real liable sources, people. Not no cap shit. I know he was the first overall pick and all that, but my sources says they like the Sanders boy.
They want to move Trevor Lawrence and they want to bring in Shedeur Sanders.
My sources says they don't find anybody that would take it.
Wow.
And I don't think Trevor Lawrence selling no tickets. I'm quite sure if that Sanders wearing that too, I'm quite sure there'll be a lot more people at the game and at the pool, don't you think?
That's a really good point. That at the end of the day,
that's a really good point.
Worry about selling tickets, and he's not. I mean, there was a point where they thought he was going to be the next Peyton Manning. People were talking about he's going to be the next great quarterback in the NFL. He's had 4 seasons, and he's had flashes, but maybe getting him out of there is best for everybody, right? He can go to a program, he can go to an organization that's maybe better built for him and his skill set, his talents, and they can bring in Shedeur, and they can build a whole team around Shedeur, have a new culture.
Everybody in Jacksonville down there, they probably got a warrant out on him for highway robbery. He fooled them.
I love the guy on the bottom.
I love
no idea.
The yes man.
No idea who the guy on the bottom is. Where it's almost like he's like, Barbara Walters, like doing like a sit down, like professional interview. And he's just like, interesting. Yes. Yeah. That makes sense. They don't like him. Wow.
What are we doing?
I'm glad to see that I'm on the same wavelength that Pac-Man Jones when I'm trying to tell a joke.
Was that the podcast version of The Onion?
That's what it felt like. Yeah.
That's what it felt like.
I love the guy
Pac-Man Jones having reliable sources.
I love the guy trying to gas him up too. Like, yeah.
It's a great point.
Makes sense. Yeah. Great point.
Man, what a world we live in. Hey, let's get the Shock Your Mock 2025, Hamby.
Shh. I see shock mocks.
I am shocked. I am shocked. That's what I mean. I am appalled.
Because you guys wouldn't figure it out. Figure it out.
Next year.
You need to get off Kirk Cousins. And being a top 10 quarterback in the NFL.
9. Cannot sleep on Kurt.
Figure it out.
Even for the internet, it's pretty shocking.
Mel, talk to me.
He's got a huge trunk, though.
Figure it out.
He's got a huge trunk, though.
Figure it out.
He's got a huge trunk, though.
Duval.
I feel shocked.
Jack Chagrin.
I feel shocked.
Jack Chagrin.
I feel shocked.
Duval. With that, game on.
Game on. Here we go. Atzert against Holmes. There's the final 4. Right in Jacksonville, not in San Antonio. Shock Your Mock presented by Everbank. Everbank Advantage You. Part of our draft coverage as well. Coming up tomorrow night on TV on Fox 30 at 7 o'clock. And also right here in the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network, 8 to 10. We want you to join us for that. All right. Wow. You all over this right now, Hamby. Atta baby. Oh, my gosh. I can't see everything this quick. Giving me a seizure. All right, here we go. What do we got? What do we like?
You want to start it up, Brent, or should I?
At some point,
we're going to let the Travis Hunter go?
Y'all are going to have to choose whether y'all prioritize the how realistic a draft is and how much you want it to be yours. Because Travis Hunter is going to be the barrier for these last 4 mocks.
What's really interesting is Max Holmes' draft, even outside of Hunter, is very intriguing to me.
Yes.
Right? Grant, again, a lot of people haven't fallen. Not everybody. I think he's going in the first round. But these mock drafts haven't fallen. Jared Wilson, I think that's not a bad play. I think getting a center in the 3rd or 4th round, this draft getting your future center is not a bad play. And there's some good value there. And Hamby says he's number 2 on his Mel Kiper Jr. list. First, sorry. Dylan Fairchild, whatever. Jax Beach, at least it's a receiver. And then, again, I'm going up to 142, and you can even fill up to Harvey, man. Like RJ Harvey, that's that's some good stuff. Like, there's a lot of need there.
And don't sleep on 221.
Seems like a good player there. I am sleeping on 221. I'm not giving it any credence at all.
Dang it.
But, so I like Holmes' draft. I just don't, I think you're right, Hamby. We are going to have to get to a point where it's like, all right, this Travis Hunter. And with all due respect to everybody who mocked, these came in about a month ago.
Yep.
Right? And a month ago, I think Hunter was still very much, at least in our thoughtful mix, right? The idea of it could happen.
Yep.
In the last 2 weeks, it's really disappeared. And maybe in the last day, it's really, really disappeared, with Cleveland most likely taking him.
Well, maybe, Brent, apparently that was a fake Adam Schefter thing.
That was Adam Shelfer.
In case he's trying to call me out on it. Interesting who my sources are, though. Here's the thing, though, Brent. Like, yeah, I see Travis Hunter there, and I like it a lot. But then you have to argue, is he really going to play the whole game both ways? And MJD kind of addressed this yesterday, and I agree with him. I don't think so. I think it's going to be in a cornerback role, and then you sub him in at wide receiver every once in a while. The top pick the top draft, I got Matthew Golden, who isn't my favorite wide receiver, but the speed speaks for itself. So you pair that with Brian Thomas Jr. You got Gray Zabel, who I believe has the top production value in terms of offensive lineman, if I'm not mistaken, or at least top 3.
It could be your potential center as well.
So that's your potential center or guard as well. Kenneth Grant, if he falls to 43, that's a steal. So now you've addressed, interior-wise. Trey Amos could theoretically start for you if you throw him in the mix. It'll be him and Jaron Jones, I'm sure, competing a little bit. So you can get a starter there. You address safety, which I think needs to be addressed with Kevin Winston Jr. You get a running back who, I get it's not Ashton Genty, but a lot to like there. And then you address the edge as well.
I do like that too.
These are theoretically all set aside from, we'll see with Gray Zabel, but all these guys could play.
Yeah. I agree with you. I kind of like Atzert's draft because I think it's one realistic. This could shake out where you do get more of these picks in the top 88 even.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, Matthew Golden at 18, sure. It would make more sense. It would bring other people play. Ted McMillan off the board. This would make some sense to me if a draft shook out like this for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And you said it, man. Wide receiver, weapon. Center of the future or interior alignment of the future, defensive interior help, corner help, safety help, rebuild the secondary, running back still add to it for 3rd and 4th and 1, and then you get your edge depth in the top 90.
Oh, yeah.
Really would be good.
And then for my own selfish needs, Brett, then we're calling, North Dakota State to talk to head coach Tim Powell, my former Pop Warner coach. We're going to have him on the show. Going to make him a friend of the show as well. So for my own selfish needs, I think for the Jaguars' needs and maybe some more realistic needs, I almost lean the top one.
Robert Atzert onto the championship, it looks like. Here we go. We move him on. What's semifinal number 2 in our Final Four here on Shock Your Mock 2025 presented by
Brent, I don't want to play this game.
Everbank. I might be having some shirts made up, by the way, for a winner and more. $75 worth of Bono's gift cards, or maybe it's $50. I should just promise 50 and maybe so we got some stuff.
Are you going to have 2 trade backs in the championship?
It could happen.
Yeah, I know. Now all of a sudden we're eliminating.
Well,
Hunter.
Brent,
we put him in it.
I know, but I don't know, man. I like Jake. Right? I feel about Jake Scott's because we got Travis Hunter, and then you're going with
love for Luther.
Roman numeral 7, baby. Drop it like it's hot. What's
I
up,
like
Luther?
The different names, but the positional value, right? You get edge, D tackle, so you get the interior and you get the corner all on the left side. And even with pick 126, you help out a bit with tight end and on offense more with the running back. So you're checking a lot of boxes. You're checking Trevor. You're checking your defensive needs as well.
Yeah.
So again, that Jake Scott one is good even outside of Hunter. If the Hunter thing is muddying us up, it's a good draft.
So here's the thing, and I get what Hamby's saying, where you almost got to think of this more what's more realistic. But that wasn't the criteria. We said give us your best Jaguars mock draft in that moment. And if this website, Pro Football Network, cut the check, by the way.
Yeah, no kidding.
Cut the check. But if this was an option, then I can't fault Jake Scott for taking it. Because think about this: if you were playing this game, Brent, and Travis Hunter's there, what are you gonna say? Whoa, that's not realistic. Let me get somebody else. And then I would probably grill you for that.
Well,
right?
Here's the deal. The Jags are running up if Hunter is still there.
Exactly.
And there's still an outside chance. I want to remind people that you can move up and get Hunter. There is that outside chance. You could do it if you want to do it.
And this is a coin flip, though, because Ashton Genty, I like it, and you traded back to get him. How realistic is that? Probably not, right? So now we're playing the realistic game. But
that's a good point. You're not getting him at number 10.
If you got him at 10, though, yeah, that would be amazing. Kenneth Grant, I like that a lot. Donovan Jackson, okay, some depth there. Jaden Higgins could be the tall Mike Evans type. You address the edge. I mean, honestly, this feels like Ohio State, Oregon in the college football playoff, where whoever wins this one might win the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? I lean towards Jake Scott, though. Because once again, you could say neither of these are realistic, so then which one would I be more excited about? Oh, Jake Scott's all day.
You know what's crazy about it, too? I actually think you can argue that Travis Hunter at 5 is more realistic than Ashton Jeanty at 10.
That is correct. I wonder what the odds are in Vegas at Ashton Jeanty at 10.
Well, because here's the deal: if the Jags are moving out of 5, it's because somebody's coming to get Jeanty right now. Like that's where all the smoke. That's where that smoke screen.
Okay, well, so then it's funny because I look at the Bovada, the 10th overall pick. Ashton Jeanty's at a plus 425, which is a lot better than I thought it would be.
The reason for that is because that's Chicago staying there.
Okay.
So that Chicago's like the third team in the mix, one of the 3 teams in the top 10 in the mix for Jeanty by all accounts.
Gotcha.
Jags, Raiders. So like if you look at that, it would be like the 5th pick would be minus whatever, the 6th pick would be minus whatever, or plus 125, and then is he going to get to 10? But if he gets to 10, that's probably the next highest odds.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, you know, according to Vegas, like it's plus 425 to have him go at 10, which isn't, you know,
out of the realm. Yeah.
And Travis Hunter at pick number 5. I mean, I don't think he's even on the list.
No, it's plus 10,000. Didn't you say?
Okay. Yeah. So that's right. You're right. You're right. Yeah.
So I guess So actually, what you're saying is I'm not correct in that. There's being a better chance.
Well, by the way, though, he was plus 10,000. Brent, he might actually be off now.
Might be off the board now.
I'm sorry, plus 15,000 now.
Plus 15.
Yeah.
So anyway, listen, I think these guys did a good job on these drafts. I think that's why they're in the semifinals.
Who you taking? And then if we disagree, Hamby can be the deciding vote.
No, I don't think I disagree with you. I think from realistic to okay, if I got to pick it, you know me, I'm a big Travis Hunter fan.
Yeah.
I like the Luther Burden one a lot. You've talked to me a lot into Luther Burden. I really do like that. And I like the different names. I'm a little tired of Kenneth Grant at 36. And I kind of like, hey, let's give me Darius Alexander, which, by the way, we did some stuff on him out of Toledo, and a lot of people like that guy. And so at pick 70, there's a lot of value there, too. I just think everybody's got, like, Grant, it seems like. So, which is no problem. But, yeah, I like it. I think it checks a lot of boxes, gives you offense, gives you defense, covers the needs of interior and edge, much like, by the way, Hamby's Burner did a similar thing. But I'm going Jake Scott. So let's go.
And listen, man, Hamby's Burner, no disrespect to you, because this probably should have been the finals. This should have been the finals, I think.
Yeah, I mean, our other semi was good, too.
Yeah, well, we'll see how the other finals shake out. You know, it could be an upset brewing here. We'll talk about it.
This is tough. So we'll go to the championship tomorrow. We'll have that for you, 11 o'clock tomorrow. Shock Your Mock 2025, presented by Everbank. Everbank Advantage You. All right, when we come back, we do a mock. We're going to try this. It's the first time we've done this, I think. We did a live fantasy football draft one time, and that was an epic disaster.
I wasn't here for that, I guess.
Oh, we did that. You didn't do that on the radio?
Oh no, yeah, you are right. I do remember.
That was an epic disaster.
I try to forget that from my mind.
Me too. But I just brought it up.
That was bad radio.
That was really not good. All right? Like, sometimes you try stuff and it just doesn't work. That did not work.
It's amazing we still have jobs after that.
They're lucky to have us.
Yeah,
what's up, Hamby? Look at him at the drive-thru.
Say hi, Hamby.
What are you serving today, Hamby?
Was that a middle finger?
No.
Okay.
Love, man.
It's hard to tell, man. I thought he was flicking us off. Like, all right. Tell us how you really feel about it.
That's probably how we both feel about the games we were at yesterday's. Flipping someone off.
Hey, did you guys lose again? Sorry for bringing it up if you did.
Season over.
Hey, nice job, though. Good season. Year number 1.
Was it close?
No. Okay. Listen, I told you, they were overmatched. It's okay.
Yeah,
good effort.
Yeah.
And year 2.
Yep.
Loading. We'll be right back.
There's a saying in sports, you can't win them all, but you can win a lot with good folks on your team. Like that one painter, First Coast. It's tough to beat the sun in Florida, so your home fades. It's tough to beat that HOA when they come calling. Beat the sun, beat the HOA with that one painter, First Coast. And it's a good time to do it. Less rain to work around, and painting in mild temperatures is perfect. After all, the paint bonds to the surface so much better. Give that one painter First Coast a call at 904-417-3557 or look them up at first-coast.com. shop.thatonepainter.com. Fast estimate, guidance on color and HOA requirements, and the highest quality job you'll find anywhere. Be a big winner in your neighborhood with That One Painter First Coast on your team.
People helping people. It's at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From the start in 1954 to today, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. I had a chance to see that commitment firsthand as Alive partnered with our Action Sports Jacks 24/7 team to bring you Armada men's and women's soccer broadcasts. Inside the 18, it is a shot, and it's a goal! Chloe Chivers! And that connection to the community continues with Alive Credit Union's support of the Police Athletic League of Jacksonville. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of all first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop.
I'm ready to show my hand, ready to take a stand. Sign above, and I am ready, cause I just live for the game, cause I just live for the game, cause I just live for the game. The crown's for the tape. I got it. I'm built to win. Back to back, I do it again. I'm iconic. I'm one of a kind. I'm iconic. I'm built to win. I'm one of a kind.
Baker's Sports. It's a hometown business filled with hometown people trying to make you feel right at home.
Chris Conley, Jacksonville University. Walker Wright, class of 2018, West Nassau High School.
Michael Young, Fletcher High School.
Baker's Sports started in a grassroots way and now outfits much of the Southeast.
Will Olive, Mandarin High School. Go Stangs.
High school sports, travel sports, youth sports of all kinds. They are a one-stop shop carrying Nike, Adidas, Under Armour brands, and more.
Vincent Caldes, Oak Leaf High School.
Tony Mazzio, Stanwood High School, class of 2002. Samuel Coffrin, Paxton School for Advanced Studies.
Whether it's sports teams on the field or it's your team in the workplace, like our Action Sports Jacks team, and community events like the Dream 18 Golf Tournament, and many others.
Cole Tilley, Hilliard High School.
Reagan Webb, Eagles View Academy.
Look good, feel good, play good with Baker Sports. Custom sports apparel since 1997. Shop with the hometown team at bakersport.com.
When it comes to trucks, I know exactly what I want. And at Bozard Ford, they make it easy to get exactly that. Let's go make this truck a little more my style. With Bozard Built, I can create my perfect truck right here. Lift kit? Check. Premium wheels? You bet. Advanced lighting package? Oh yeah. The Bozard team works their magic. From bumper to tailgate, I'm making this truck mine. It's everything that I wanted and more. From the field to the gym to weekend adventures. This truck's built for my journey. Bozard Built. Customized for your lifestyle, built to exceed your expectations. Check out the inventory and available options at bozardbuilt.com. Unleash your dream ride. Customized, covered, and Bozard approved.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
All right, so here we go. Hamby, you know what's going on? You can help us?
Yeah.
You can pull this off? You have confidence?
Well, guys, should we say some rules quick? No trades?
Yeah, we want to stay.
Okay, gotcha.
I don't think we complicate this thing with trades. You will get offered trades and you'll have to, reject them.
Okay.
The other thing that I think, my one concern is, there's two concerns. One, that this thing goes too fast, and one, it goes too slow.
I think it'll be good.
So we think we can control the pace a little bit, because we got to kind of see what other people have done. So Hamby, you're going to have to walk us through that.
Yep.
Okay.
Talk about vaping.org, by the way.
There we go, man. Yeah. More you know.
The more you know.
Okay, so if we get a trade offer for Trevor Lawrence from Pittsburgh, we're not taking it regardless?
We're not taking it.
I'm kidding. Okay, gotcha.
It would be interesting to see what the trade offer is at number 5.
Yeah.
For Genty or something, though.
No,
just
for
out
sure.
of curiosity.
Yeah. Well, hang on. Before we start, can we put out some is there like a Dilla smokescreen button where we can kind of build up some?
I'll add it in over here.
Add it in. Yep. Add in the
right here.
Add in the Yoda Dilla, metrics and everything, smoke screens, and let's up our chances here a little bit.
All right, here we go.
Let's get it.
Doing just the Jags.
And we want the chat to be involved here. All right?
All
so
7
I'm going to get on our YouTube Messenger just so we can see. And if anybody's jumping in on Facebook or anywhere else,
I'm going to go to my James Gladstone call sheet here. I'm going to quick draw up.
Okay.
Here we go.
All right. So are we on the clock yet? How fast did that go?
All right.
We're on the clock.
All right, so we got
wow. So
Sanders
went to
Sanders, but they
Cleveland.
did take Hunter off the board. So
Come on, New England.
I'm kind of glad this worked out this way, that Hunter's not available. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, here we go. Mason Graham, Ashton Genty, Tet McMillan.
This is going to end in
Ty Warren, Jalen Walker. These are the names. We want to be as realistic as possible.
Of course,
right?
Of course.
So?
This is going to be a bloodbath, I have a feeling. Brent, you go first. Who do you want? Say Jalen Walker and watch me lose my mind.
It's not going to be Jalen Walker.
Okay.
I think it's a little high for Ty Warren. I do like Tet McMillan, but I'm going to see the value is in Genty.
Hamby's going to okay, maybe Hamby's going to lose his mind. You taking Genty?
I'll take Genty.
Gosh, bless it.
So here's the thing. I've been a big proponent of Mason Graham because it's the sure thing. But the more I think about Liam Cohen helping Trevor Lawrence out, which should be the main focus.
It should be.
Is getting Trevor Lawrence some help. I'm leaning towards Genty.
I'm so stuck on the one person, I forget who it was, and sorry for not giving you credit last week, who said, who's going to help you get a yard or stop a yard the most? Mm-hmm. And the yard's been a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I go to Genty, he's going to help you get the yard.
Yeah, that'd be the most exciting pick. I think Hamby.
Membu?
No, we're all good. No, we're all good. Hamby, you gotta. Feel free to chime in quick.
I'm overruled no matter what.
Welcome to Jacksonville. Screw Membu.
But Hamby,
we're not reaching down here to 14.
Hamby, but this is the part where you say Mason Graham, and all of a sudden we can play this back and be like, "I told you guys." So, do you want to take Mason Graham?
I do want to take Mason Graham. I've been wanting to take him for 4 months.
All right, well, that's too bad. Ashton Genty it is.
Freaking running back at 5 overall.
It's all good.
We don't listen to Mel Kiper Jr.
Yeah.
Mason Graham goes 7 to the Jets. Kelvin Banks 10 to the Bears.
Wow, where does Tet McMillan end up going?
Warren goes to the Colts.
Second round?
Tet goes 16 to the Cardinals.
Starks goes early.
Matthew Golden 20 to the Broncos. There's Zabel.
Zabel in the first round here.
Pierce in the
Luther,
first round.
don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Luka goes.
Don't do it.
Jahad Campbell, 33rd.
New York, what are you doing? Oh.
I can't believe all you people want Will Campbell, by the way. But we had some Will Campbells in there. Are you serious?
We want to take this?
Want an offensive line? No, we're not taking this. We're staying.
This guy's still there.
Yeah, but, okay, Walter, no, let's see what we got here.
Brent, the guy that is an auto first rounder, is still there.
I know he is.
Kenneth Grant's there too. Walter Nolan or Kenneth Grant.
I don't love the fact that we don't have a receiver we love here. I'll say that.
I know. Luther Bird was
Trey
right
Harris.
there, Brent. Stupid New York.
Trey Harris is like the best wide receiver left.
We could have traded back to 47.
We're not reaching for a wide receiver. Sorry.
Nah. Where do you want to go here? You go defensive interior. I don't think there's a corner here that I love. I mean, that Hairston kid, maybe.
Hairston, yeah, but I'm going beef. I'm going.
I think you're going to go beef too. You want to be physical. You stay disciplined to who you want to be, right?
So it's either Walter Nolan or Kenneth Grant. It's literally
who's more intangibly rich.
Should I look it up real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a great point, Brent. And by intensely rich,
6'3", 330 with a RAS score of 7.18.
Didn't ask that. Just need production.
So, by the way, the risk here is Walter Nolan, probably the better player. Like, could be a top 15 player in the draft, but he comes with risk. So, how have you vetted him out? How have you scouted him out? That's like the story here.
Okay. Walter, second in defensive tackle production, right behind Mason Graham. Walter Nolan.
I'm going to go put this together where you're not going to take the most 53 angelic players in the locker room. This dude gives you a little edge. You've got enough leadership in the locker room under Armstead and Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker to bring Nolan along. I've taken Walter Nolan and going to get myself 2 first-round picks, even though I got this guy at number 36.
All right, let me just make sure. Let me do the Kenneth Grant due diligence real quick, Brent. I want to make sure we check all our boxes here. Okay, Kenneth Grant was 8th. Yep. Go and give us Walter Nolan, please.
You got him.
All right. I think we talked through that pretty well. Didn't even have to sleep on it.
Princely. Jalen Milroe goes 45 to the Colts. They pair him with AR.
They got 2 running backs.
Smart. running the wishbone.
They paired him with Jonathan Taylor.
This is where we would trade up and take a receiver.
It'll be interesting to see if we have to. Let's see. Beck.
Yeah, we're screwed at receiver.
Jackson Dart is okay. He's gone now. Oof.
I love how we're trying to process all this.
I know, it's way too much to comprehend.
It's a lot. All right, yeah, you might be able to get Higgins.
Higgins is gone.
Oh, he's gone.
Yeah, this is what we're looking at.
Oh, my son would go crazy for Tez Johnson, but man, undersized.
He got 5'10".
Right?
Oh, he's so undersized and didn't really run a good 40-yard dash
either.
150
pounds.
Why are all these Iowa State receivers available?
Good question.
I just don't think of them as a receiver,
Hey, can you go to tight end quick?
That's where Hutchinson came from, too.
There's nobody at edge.
Well, the Kennard kid is not bad.
Yeah,
but
right.
way down.
Not at 70.
Yeah, probably not at 70. Give me an offensive lineman, like center or guard. Yeah, center or guard.
I'm not allowing you to take Jared Wilson at 70.
Why not?
Nope. Too early.
Really?
Too early.
I mean, that's our Georgia representative, Brent. If he's saying that, I'm going to believe him.
We need a receiver, a corner, or edge.
What is safety talking about real quick?
Kevin Winston's there.
This gets hard.
Yep.
I'd rather take a corner.
But looks like you're reaching.
You're reaching everywhere at 70.
Are you reaching at safety? Go back to safety again? I mean, what? Brent,
do we have a favorite safety? Hey, can you look at running back real quick? Scatterboom.
We took Genty.
Oh yeah, we took Genty. My bad.
Yeah, we're on the power
there's
high.
A lot of defensive tackles still available. Good ones too. If we could have.
Brent, what do you want, man?
So we could have waited on defensive tackles. What you're saying?
Well, shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Man,
what do you think about this guy here?
What? I don't know.
He's the biggest of the 4 guys right here. 5. Until you get to Savion, you're not getting another 6-foot receiver.
How big's Jalen Noel?
Jalen Noel's 5'10".
And Royals is a bigger guy?
Is 6 foot, 205.
He's intangibly rich?
Who are we talking about? Jalen
Royals.
Jalen Royals.
Jalen Royals. Let me check it up real quick, Brent. Let me go over the analytics here.
Well, this gets hard in these middle rounds, man. First of all,
I mean, could it shake out like this where we're like, man,
sorry, Austin. Wouldn't have minded any of these 3 guys: Ratledge, Porter, or Emory Jones.
What about the rest of the offensive line?
Jalen Royals was 9th overall in production, 11th overall in athleticism.
You got Cam Williams available at tackle.
I just don't know where we're playing an offensive lineman, guys. I'm still stuck on that. Like, where are you slotting him in? He's just a backup at this time.
Jalen Royals.
So I think it's too early.
Lacks desired explosiveness, but makes up for it with body control and feel for the game. Has good size and is keenly aware of defenders around him, which allows him to adjust routes and improves his chances for contested catches.
I like that. Sounds like an IQ guy.
Yeah.
Right? Pretty good IQ guy.
Yeah. Doesn't have. I mean, once again, they say he doesn't have like the You know what it kind of reminds me of? Not the same person by any means, but like the write-up reminds me of Puka. Where like they're saying he doesn't really get out of his breaks really fast, but like has good hands, bigger than he plays. I don't know.
Brent, you said it's your biggest need, so let's go.
I'm going with the big wide receiver. I like him, and YB 400 just confirmed it for me. I'm going with you, YB 400.
Let's go.
Drive safe.
You good, Austen?
Yeah, I want to check on Noel real quick to see like what his analytics were, but that's fine. You guys can go with it.
All right, Jalen Royals.
Really want to move this along, don't you?
Well, I don't know, man.
Not Hamby.
Oh, sorry.
Hamby, like, put us on the clock.
Well, that's how it works in the real draft.
It is kind of how it works. You're right.
Oh, yeah, by the way, Jalen Noel from Iowa State was 17th in production, but 3rd in athleticism.
Why do I feel like taking a guy from Utah State is better than Iowa State at wide receiver?
It's kind of like it's like a horse apiece, really. All right, let's keep it going here.
I feel like we're between 3 things here. Jared Wilson.
I like that pick.
Taking edge because Kyle Kennard is still there. Slash Josiah Stewart. But maybe we wait around and go Jack Sawyer, so if he's still there.
Like that.
Or what else are we talking about?
So the offense.
We have not taken a cornerback.
Can we see safety again, please?
Lathan Ransom is still there.
I don't mind that. I still don't know if it's
Ransom.
Like day one help. Well, neither is the center.
I like Dorian Strong better than Lathan Ransom.
So we got between, I think what we're looking at is here, edge, corner, safety, or I would say even center. I think you're getting a lot of value with the center here.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and again, I think we need a future center in Jacksonville. I think the 3rd round, 4th round is the time to do it. Who's going to help you in the next couple of years the most is really that. Or is somebody going to help you right now? How about tight end, just out of curiosity? Is there a tight end that we can sneak in there? Hamby.
Is that small school guy from whatever Bowling Green still there? No.
Syracuse guy is, but we can wait on him.
The Miami guy's intriguing, but he's coming off the injuries. I think if we're talking about value, Brent, I would almost go with the Georgia cat, Jared Wilson.
Like that pick there, Hamby?
I'm good with it here.
All right, let's do it.
The only problem is we still haven't addressed edge and secondary.
Yeah, I think we're going to get a clump of guys, though, that are just in that 4th round grade.
This is why I feel like we need an additional pick in the top 100, somewhere between 50 and 100. I feel like that would be huge.
Yeah, to move up and go get, it's like when we're picking number 70 to go get somebody at 56 or something like that. Yeah, I hear you. I'm okay with that. Go get good players.
Maybe someone.
I don't think people are going to like the pick we just had, but that's okay.
Who knows? Maybe we'll get offered Jair Alexander or something.
Arroyo got picked at 95.
Okay.
There goes Scattaboo.
100.
Safeties are going off the board. Tyler Show, some people think the best quarterback in the draft, and they go another quarterback for Tennessee there. Interesting.
This is an interesting trade.
Rams. We're not doing
Los
trades.
Los Angeles Rams. What was that? Okay.
All right. Here's what we got at. Okay, we can't not take Kennard.
No, you're taking Kyle Kennard all day, I think, right, Brent? I mean, yeah, let's let the draft speak to us. We have some time.
No Williams.
Okay, let's relax, everybody. Let's not get.
Latham is still there.
Yeah, but Kennard's more of a need for us.
Let me just make sure that Kyle Kennard checks out all the boxes quick. Nothing came up with him, you know?
6'4", 254 guy. Pretty good.
Yep.
How's his production?
Is
he intangibly rich? So one question I continue to ask ourselves here. Is he intangibly rich?
It's loading right now. Brent. Oh.
He is. Brent.
So, well, he's, in terms of defensive end and edge rank, he's 9th, which is a pretty good value from where you're taking him. So, yeah, I would say that, he's upper class with intangibly rich.
Like it. Kyle Kennard it is.
Kyle Kennard,
Carolina.
Avion. There goes the tight end.
Now we ran a 4-7, but that's okay.
Kobe
Fairchild.
We're going to get stuck on corners and safeties a little bit, most likely.
Yeah.
But I think you can find some in the middle rounds, too. Like, I think
Pat Bryant.
Those positions. And I don't know who's playing right away anyway. I mean, Jarian Jones might have that spot. You've got other guys like Buster Brown on the roster.
So do you think maybe more safety, Brent?
Well, in safety, I think you've got to rebuild safety in some way, shape, or form. And it's just like a stopgap right now, right? Between, you name it. Obviously, Murray, who they brought in. And, well, I guess you got one more year with, what's his name from Green Bay that we brought in last year? Safety.
Savage.
Savage, yeah.
This feels like, okay, let me...
But you got to get younger at safety soon.
Yeah.
You have to do that. All right, so 126. Best available.
And we go back to safeties real quick, please. Because I'm trying to find, like, if you remember how it checked out last year for the Rams where they took Kitchens here now or whatever. They took him because of his production, not because of his athleticism, because he had a horrible combine. And this could be a situation where you can find a guy who was really great on the field, but not necessarily the most athletic guy.
Okay.
So that's what I'm trying to look for. So in terms of like Jalen Reed, he was 18th in production. I feel like he can do a little better.
What about like an RJ Mickens?
Looking him up right now.
5th-year senior, by the way. Older guy.
I mean, do you think safety is the play here, or do you think something else, Brent? I mean, we can go
corner.
Corner, okay. Anybody
corner.
Sticking out to you at corner? 10th overall for Mickens production.
That's not bad.
And 7th for athleticism.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Like anybody here, Hamby?
I think the play is corner.
Okay.
I think it's a bigger need than safety. So this is where I kind of depend on size. We got a 6', 192. And a 5'10", 194, so same size. We get a little bit more length with Corey Black.
Hamby, why isn't that guy's RAS score? Is he hurt?
That's a good question. Quincy's is in A, and then Corey Black's is 8'4",
Hey, can you just go to edge guys again real quick? Is Sawyer still there? Because I really like him.
Yes, he is, as is Josiah Stewart. We just took Kennard, though.
Well, I could use a couple. It's not like one's enough.
Brent, I know, but...
Or we could wait till 178 and get this Jared Ivey guy. And Ja Joyner's available.
Like I kind of think I think you need
Baron Sorrell.
I think you could use it if we go 2 edge guys in the middle. It's not the worst.
I hear you.
Smile Mondon's available.
Go back to cornerback one more time, please. Corey Black, I'll look him up.
Like we could take one of these corners most likely in our next 4th round pick, right? Oh no, this is our second 4th round pick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, our next pick is 142, and this is a 145 guy.
Yeah, I think we might be able to sneak that in the safety or the corner. Jack Sawyer, man. I like Sawyer. I think you're getting a football player there.
Mm-hmm.
Man, tight end, nobody available.
Man, there's not much information on Corey Black.
Do we take a tackle?
I think that's why I feel like Sawyer helps you out more than like a tackle helps you out right now. Doesn't he?
Go back to the edge again, please, or defensive, whatever you want to call it. Edge, yeah. Yeah, but do you want to take him or Josiah Stewart?
I'd rather have Stewart.
Yeah, because we've been super high on Josiah Stewart as well. Do you want the more polished guy or do you want the bigger boomer bust guy? Because that's Jack Sawyer. Do you want to risk it for the biscuit or do you want to get, like, you're pretty sure you know what you're getting with?
Josiah Stewart is 6'1". So Sawyer's 6'4".
Yeah.
6'4", 260, right? Kind of like that. I just feel like when he tells me intangibly rich, you and I are thinking the same thing. That's what he says, like in his pre-draft presser, Gladstone.
Yeah.
I go to a guy like Sawyer.
Well, let me look him up quick. Let me see if the metrics shake out here, Brent.
Like I think with Sawyer you're getting like the stuff Puz brought to the table.
Sure. Okay, just kind of toughness. I mean, you did like how he carried himself after that Michigan loss.
Like instinct, football player, love of the game.
All right, let me just check one more metric, and then I'm going to give you the green light on Jack Sawyer. Hamby, how you feel about it?
I'm like in the room now going to the wall for Sawyer here.
Yeah, I'm going Josiah Stewart.
Oh, really? Didn't test?
Well,
productivity not good?
So Sawyer's productivity, once again, if we want to talk about intangibly rich, is 11th. Josiah Stewart is top 5. He's 5th. Now, size and everything, how does he fit in the scheme? I get all that.
So could you potentially, do you think, and I don't know, I haven't seen Stewart enough, and I'm not sure you have, so I'll ask you this question, but like, do you look at him like a potential Jalen Walker type because it's similar size, where you can then move him all around? Now, I understand there's a big talent gap there, right?
Yeah,
between the guy maybe going in the top 10, but is that what Stewart you could do, and then you could fill in, like, does that help you take Devin Lloyd off the field if it's not working so well, or does he give you more position versatility and chess piece than maybe a Sawyer does?
So here's how I look at it. You're picking him at what, the 4th round here this is?
Yeah.
So you don't expect him to get like starting reps.
Absolutely.
This is going to be a depth play.
Yep.
I think you make a case for either guy. Now, would Sawyer play more in base? Yeah, because Josiah Stewart, as this article says, he's kind of an undersized 3-4 outside linebacker, right? So like it would be hard to expect him to play every single down if we think the Jaguars are going to do like that 4-3 defense, a Vic Fangio defense. At the same time, though, I do think you're getting more of a pass rush upgrade if you take Stewart over Sawyer. But once again, like Sawyer showed stuff towards the end of the season. I don't know. Do you go with the boomer bust or do you go with the sure thing? I think Stewart's a sure thing. I think Sawyer could be better than him, but he could be worse. So it's whatever you're thinking.
All right.
Hamby, do you want to vote?
You like Stewart.
Okay.
You guys go. We'll go Stewart. I lost my battle.
No, but you won your battle taking back-to-back edge.
Okay, fair.
So you get one position, but not player.
All right, fine.
All right, we got Stewart.
I almost swore.
All right, guys. Now we have to go corner or safety here, right?
Yeah, we got to.
Well, I mean, you can't get. Listen, I would say,
let the draft come to us. I got it.
Yeah, you got to let the draft speak to you. And I'm not reaching at pick 142 just for a position. We've got guys that are better already on the roster. We've got guys that have played. Like your corner, you have depth at corner. You're just kind of banking on Jerry and Jones being able to play on that outside and give you the versatility.
If we go the entire draft and don't take a corner.
Well, you can find one, but I don't think that's how you draft here. I don't think that's what you do. I mean, the Jags have guys that might be better than the 5th or 6th round corner and safety. Just the way it is.
Yeah, so we aren't taking Tommy Hill, which is crazy, though, because he's first in athleticism, but he was really, really bad in production. And that's not going to be a James Gladstone guy, I don't think.
I'm voting offensive tackle with Lunt or R.J. Mickens at safety.
Say that again. Who are you taking?
Lunt here, offensive tackle, or Mickens here, safety.
I don't understand. Like, what are you doing with the offensive tackle?
I mean, it's a depth play, Brent. It's the 5th round now.
I know, but like, I mean, we have a guy that we picked in Foster last year, or was that 2 years ago?
Brent, be careful. They might take a freaking offensive tackle in the 1st round. They might.
Lunt 6'7.5",
and you don't even want to take one in the 5th round.
Well, I'm not saying I don't want to. I'm asking you what you're doing with them because Lunt's not playing special teams. That you get a corner or a safety or somebody like that, they can play special teams as well. You know what I mean? So, like, here's what the Jags have, just so you know, just to reiterate this on the offensive line. They got Walker, Little, Ezra Cleveland. They got Hainsey now and McCarry. They got Anton Harrison. Behind them, they kept Cole Van Lanen. Cooper Hodges is a question mark to me. They still have Javon Foster, by the way, who they drafted last year in the 4th round. Luke Fortner, but we already replaced him with our future center in this draft. Chuma Edoga and Fred Johnson also on this roster for the Jags. So you've got some experienced guys. You go now to the safety and the corner spots in the secondary. Jari and Jones, Eric Murray obviously brought in. Darnell Savage already here. Tyson Campbell, Jordan Lewis brought in. Behind those guys, Buster Brown, Antonio Johnson, Wingard, DeAndre Prince, Christian Braswell. So some young guys you invested in over the last couple of years. And then you do have Daniel Thomas and Zach McPherson as well. So my point is, like, are the backups, Buster Brown, Antonio Johnson, Dewey, DeAndre Prince, Christian Braswell, Daniel Thomas, better than anybody you're going to get right now at the safety and corner position?
I think safety is the least of our needs.
Probably you're just saying, hey, we'll go younger next year, right? Because they're pretty old. They're like with Murray, I'm not old, but they're Murray, Dewey, and Savage. Those are older guys. Like, I don't know if I anticipate any of those guys being here in 2026. Might not be here. You might have to remake the whole safety room. in 2026, and you can do that in free agency and other things, but just something to look forward to down the road, because that's what you're talking about in this draft now. When you get to this stage, you're talking about what's coming up down the road. And so do you say the same thing about offensive line, where you have Cole Van Lanen, Fred Johnson? Are those your fixes for the future? Maybe not. So maybe it's time now to go offensive line, to your point, to say, okay, we got to go get the next depth guy for 2026 and 2027 and hopefully develop that guy. Maybe Javon Foster could still be in the mix, but maybe one of these guys too. So if you guys like Lund.
Hamby, can you go back to the safeties and corners again real quick? Just on defense, like secondary, can you click or not? No? Okay.
Jalen Rivers, by the way, is another one, local guy that could be in the mix right around this time. I think I just saw his name.
Can we see? Yep, thank you, man. Appreciate you. All right.
Coach Ripley, remember when we thought Johnson was going to be a starter? He was a starter. Antonio Johnson was a starter. Then he had a rough time pretty much last year. But here's the thing that we keep saying, and Austin, I want Austin to remind us this.
Sure.
The guys that had rough years potentially last year, did they have rough years because his defensive staff and what they were trying to do was wrong? Mm-hmm. Not good,
exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So like that's what we're trying to debate too, is like, who are you adding? Where do you need to beef up? But also, who do you still give a chance? Much like, think about it almost, and it's totally different, so I don't want to like disparage a guy like Ryan. I don't think he's a bad guy. But it's like Urban. When Urban was here, it's like, okay, well, who did Urban hold back? Yeah. When he came into 2022, you're like, well, I think we can get much better play out of XYZ guy, because he was playing under Urban and it didn't go very well, right?
Sure. Yep.
Now, Nielsen, again, different animal here, but did you get the best out of a guy like Antonio Johnson, who, let's be honest, going into last year, I was kind of high on, kind of liked him. Like, do we give that guy another shot in this system and say, wait a minute, they're going to make this guy, don't give up on him yet?
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
Those are the things that's hard to do. We don't know how they feel about him.
Yep.
But I think he's a good-looking football player, just didn't play very well in that defense last year. But, oh, by the way, not many people did.
Correct. I'm looking at either, so Hamby, I'm not going to take Lund here. I'm going to either take a safety or a corner. I'll tell you both about them. So go to the safeties real quick. So Mickens, what I just read, versatile guy, can come in and contribute right away. Cornerback.
At corner, not safety?
No. I'm saying I'm going to go to quarterback. Okay. Tommy Hill, too much questions about the productivity and just what he produced on the field. Justin Wally's a guy you could maybe get in the next round, because a lot of people have him actually going a lot deeper. But once again, is a corner that can do a lot of different things. And I think in this defense, if the plan is to rush 4 and maybe do like a bunch of like variety of zone coverages, keep the offenses guessing, I think you're looking at either Justin Wally from Minnesota or you're looking at Mickens from Clemson. So it's really dealer's choice. Whatever you're thinking, Hamby.
I think I like your offensive line, guys, the way I talk about it. So I'm going to vote for the offensive line because I also think there's value there in Lunt.
Let's go offensive line.
I think we go corner next round, and we go tackle. And Austin, would you rather have the 6'7", 305 or the 6'6", 335?
I remember we did some stuff about Belton.
Yeah.
Let me just
would you rather have a guy go to NC State or UConn?
I think NC State.
NC State, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's not the end-all, be-all, but...
I'll take Belton.
All right. Let's do Belton. R.J. Harvey, the next pick. Then Lunt. Mickens goes. Stutzman.
We should just Detroit Lions this thing and got R.J. Harvey and Genty.
Well, Howard goes to the Giants.
I trade Bigsby in.
No, keep them all, man.
Just keep
more the merrier.
DK and Pickens rejoice. They took
our
Riley
preseason
Leonard.
team's going to be legit, Brent. We were like the Baltimore Ravens of preseason.
We got to wait a while here.
That's good.
No one wants
Get
to
some good dinner.
Anymore?
Go for a run.
What is it? Is this? I feel like we're in Moneyball right now.
Yeah, we're around 6.
Bond.
We're almost done.
All right. Let's go to corner.
Corner safety.
Okay, so the Minnesota dude's gone. Yeah, I don't know, man. Actually,
how about one more position? How about tight end? I don't mind that. How about Simeon Barrow? I wonder if you get to this point of the draft, you're like, yeah, I don't know this guy. Just who scouted this dude?
Are there any more Georgia Bulldogs available, Hamby, you can tell us about?
Or? Yes. Plenty.
Plenty.
There's TID. We got TID, who's raw. Warren Brinson.
Is your Nazir Stackhouse?
Naz Stackhouse is there. We got 3 defensive tackles. Nobody on the edge. Jamon Dumas-Johnson, that's Pop. He used to be on the Dogs and transferred to Kentucky. He's a great football player. We have nobody in the corner spot. And then Dan Jackson, the all-time lunch pail guy, is at 216, which is early.
Well, it's early compared to this. I don't get wrapped up in the numbers as much. Like, these rankings. I think that's when we do the mock drafts, like their rankings. That's why I like the Sawyer
at tight end.
Yeah.
We got Jurasic from Georgia.
You might, or Nick Lachey.
Man.
Jackson Halls was a pretty good football player. And then Conyers we've seen in mocked a good bit.
Why don't we go get ourselves a good special teams guy and Johnson, the linebacker. I think there seems like there's some good value there. And by the way, how long are our linebackers in Jacksonville too? Like we could start grooming and finding the next one. Boye's making a lot of money. Stays around for another year. Devin Wood, we're not sure if he'll even be here past this year.
When you talk about production, this guy has it.
You do have Ventrell Miller. And so, but what do you say?
I love it.
Let's go Johnson.
All right. Don't even ask my opinion. It's all good.
Sorry.
I wanted Hunter Wohler from Wisconsin, but it's all good.
We're going to get him right here.
Hunter Wohler?
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. I guess you will if you want him.
Where's he at? What position?
Safety.
Yeah! Look at that!
Just squeaked by. Hey, what did it say about him real quick?
Draft well right there.
That's not bad.
6'2" as a safety.
Yeah. What does it say here? Can make every big safety can make plays at every level. Third size. Yeah. This is special teams guy.
Yeah. Let's go.
Get him.
Let's go.
Get him.
We got one more pick.
Plus, he was 12th in production, by the way, Brent. In safeties. One more pick.
One more pick. We probably lean like
receiver.
We go BPA here, but we go tight end. You take a gamble on a receiver.
Should we get a quarterback just to make Trevor a little nervous? Like, hey, man, you still got to perform this.
Right now, by the way, we have undrafted free agent. We're on the phone calls. We're on the line with a bunch of them.
Doing all our due diligence. All the Georgia Bulldog players for Hamby.
That's right.
Bring them all in.
Here we go, guys. How are we going to end this up with?
Just give us the best player available. Go all.
Man,
TID.
Let me see Caden Prather quick.
Has there ever been a 7th-round defensive tackle that's done well? It feels like you get a big guy late. Does that work?
Who was the guy? Isn't John Randall 7th round?
Oh, is he that late? Yeah, it's going back a bit. I know there probably has been. I'm just saying, is that a position where you find guys late?
Yeah.
Like where a linebacker or a receiver or a running back, you can actually get a jewel there.
Yeah, I hear you. See, Brent, now you're messing up my whole I'm looking up John Randall stuff now just to... Well, he might have been undrafted free agent. Oh, he was undrafted. I stand corrected. All right, now back to the...
What do we know about Kobe Hudson?
He's a good football player. Possession kind of guy, but can also go up and get it a little bit. Got to polish the route tree.
Score. Oof.
He wasn't very fast.
You like that RAS score? What do we know about Caden Prather? I feel like receiver's a good spot here.
Yeah.
Receiver or corner.
Yep.
Seems like, again, I'm going to how do you draft these guys and you land on them? That might be.
Oh, B.J. Adams is there.
You like him?
And Mac McWilliams, two nights. No, I don't want to draft a secondary guy from UCF. They got eaten on all year.
Eaten on?
All right. What do we like? I don't want the
receiver.
Big guy. Let's go receiver.
What do you want, Kobe or Prather?
I want to land someone. Give me a production score on any of these guys.
Jimmy Horn, remember him?
Yeah.
Do you remember him pick?
He's TBD pounds.
Yeah, he's fine. Let me just see. Let me see what the metrics say about
Elijah Badger at 271. Wouldn't hate it.
I don't like looking at the numbers on the left. I like.
Yeah, okay, so Jimmy Horn in terms of production. Yeah.
There's a find in here. Let's find the intangibly rich guy real quick.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Before we wrap this up. Daniel Jackson.
I'm looking up
out of Minnesota.
Please hold.
5'10", 193.
Polished wide receiver.
Corey 6'2", 185.
TBDs, we don't get all the information sometimes.
Wi-Fi is not going as fast as I want it to go. Okay, apparently there's a Dan Jackson from Georgia too, so that didn't help. Well, what do you want me to do, Anthony? Daniel Jackson Combine. All right, here we go. He's from Minnesota? Daniel Jackson?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, Brent, feel free to look up some of these dudes too as well. Just okay.
Just okay?
Not gonna...
Just okay.
Just okay. I mean, what do you want me to do? He's in the yellow. I need guys in the green, Brent.
This time in the draft, you're probably not getting that.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's the last pick of the draft. Theoretically, how much he's going to play, you know?
Well, that is true. 40 time, I don't like on Antoine. Come on, what do we got? Nobody wants to chime in on who we got.
Let me look up Kobe Hudson then, and then we'll go from there.
I'm going to go one more, too.
Caden Prather ran 4.4 at 6.
Who did?
Caden Prather.
Yeah, that's not bad. LeJounte Wester. Gosh, he looks like he's 40.
Mm-hmm. Kobe isn't...
Well, there's a reason why these guys are in the 7th round.
I know, for sure. Already free agent. I don't know, man. It's the last pick. It's the 7th round pick.
All right.
I say Jimmy
Elijah
Horton Jr.
Badger was 24th in production score. A lot of these other guys are in the 30s and 40s.
Okay.
He ran 4.43.
Well, let's go with him.
Elijah Badger?
Let's go Gator. We feel like we know the most about him.
Yeah. Those have worked out good for us.
Yeah. Is that it? Do we have another pick?
Nope, that's it.
All right, good. All right, to make sure you take a picture of this, and we'll see how we nailed it.
And then stay tuned to the hindsight 2020 draft taking part, on a Monday.
Come on, Dan Jackson.
It is hard, man, when you get in the later rounds, isn't it? That's interesting, like the conversation, like should we, because like Hamby wanted to go need all day.
Yeah.
It's like, but you got to map it out.
Etienne.
Trevor Etienne goes very late. Some people think he could be very good, like, because he's lightly used in college.
Yeah,
for Trevor Etienne.
Oh, no. All right, let's get Jimmy Horton free agency.
Yeah, there we go.
Didn't go. Call him up.
Probably get a bunch of these guys undrafted free agency. All right, let's do this. We got to hustle to a break. Take a time out, come back, and we're holding court. Casey Kurtz is going to join us, and we still have to get to that one, Painter Paint the Player. Who's going to be the second-round pick of the Jags? Where will that trend to be? What's the latest as we are on the eve of the draft 2025? All right. I'm not sure that was as bad as our fantasy football draft that we just did, but we'll see if this shakes out. Thanks for playing along. When it's time to get a new car for anyone in your family, just remember, nobody but Nimnick, the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Get the latest price breaks on 2023 and 2024 models or the newest 2025 vehicles in the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com 24 hours a day. GMC Sierras, Yukons, and the redesigned Acadias, or get the all-new redesigned line with Buicks. It's nobody but Nimnick, and part of the reason why is this is a first-class buying experience here at Nimnick Buick GMC. You're not just a customer, you're a friend. This is about getting a vehicle that best fits you and getting you on the road, and also helping you and your family down the road. Nimnick has a treating you right guarantee, courtesy, respect, fairness, and most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnick. Who has put in the most years and stands behind a better experience? Nobody but Nimnick. GMC. We are professional grade. Action Sports Jacks is the biggest brand in Jacksonville, and we're excited to add another partnership for this team's biggest season yet. Action Sports Jacks 24/7 is now the official streaming network of the Jacksonville Sharks for their 15th season.
The Jacksonville Sharks are your champions.
I've been telling you about CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing for a long time now. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. We've had a Connecticut water softener and drinking water system in our home for more than 7 years. You can see the difference whether you're washing clothes, the dishes, or what I like to do most, fill this up for some coffee every morning, and mostly all day. Remember, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Right now, you can get a free Connecticut reverse osmosis system with the purchase of a Connecticut Premier Softener. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and determine your water score. Don't know your water score? CGC will find out and recommend the appropriate Connecticut water treatment solutions so you can improve it. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Ask about our 90-day love it or leave it guarantee. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
Empower a future, inspire a dream. It's a bold but simple mission for the Jacksonville Police Athletic League known as Jags PAL. Help the next generation of kids in Jacksonville shape a brighter future. Their after-school programs, teenage leadership programs. There's community outreach.
This has been just an awesome opportunity to be out here with my colleagues and do something good for the community. It's really been an interesting opportunity to just see everybody work together in a way that we don't normally in the office.
And there's sports. There are also ways you can help the next generation with a donation of any kind. Just visit jaxpal.org to get more information. Empower a future, inspire a dream with Jags PAL.
Most of us know how to throw. But you need to know what to throw. I'm not talking about footballs, baseballs, softballs. We're talking about those items you need to recycle. Republic Services explains it easy. Recycling simplified. 1. Know what to throw. When in doubt, throw it out. 2. Empty, clean, and dry those materials. It takes an extra minute, but it makes a big difference. And 3. Don't bag it. This makes the recycling process faster and more efficient. This is a look at the Republic Services North Florida Recycling Center. You can make this process even more efficient. By utilizing those 3 steps, Republic Services can help you become a better recycler in your home. Learn more at recyclingsimplified.com.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
In Duval coverage, it gets going really early in the morning tomorrow, starting in the morning show, and then 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. Austen and I will be out at Jags headquarters. We'll have Mark Lamping join the show. We'll have a conversation with Brenton Strange. We'll have Tony Baselli on the show. And then we lead into our afternoon coverage, which really is at 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock in our Action News Jax newscasts on CBS 47, Fox 30, all the way until 7. And then at 7 to 8, we're on Fox 30 for an hour on TV. And then 8 to 10, Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. We're going to utilize the network. We're going to have instant reaction. We're going to talk more about the pick. We expect the Jaguars to be able to pick, if they stay at number 5, right around 8:50 or so. And then instant reaction and all the rest through 10 o'clock, and then up until really 11:30 with our sportscasts in the news coverage as well on CBS 47, Fox 30. And we'd like you to participate there too tomorrow. In that 8 to 10 window, it's basically like this show. Mm-hmm. So we'll have some interaction and engagement. So you can watch the draft, wherever you watch it, but you also can be kind of tuning in and in real time chatting with us about what's going on with the first pick and the second pick and the third pick and fourth pick and leading up to the Jags if they stay again at number 5 and right after. So be a part of it. All the coverage tomorrow with Action Sports Jax on TV, on the new network, on social media, and you know where to find us. Should be a lot of fun throughout the day tomorrow. And by the way, we're going to do it again on Friday. For the most part. No, we won't do all those special shows. We do have a 15-minute show to wrap things up at 11:15, but we also have our show. We'll have a ton of reaction between 10 and 1, and usually that's the day they'll bring in the draft pick if it works out from a logistical standpoint. So Friday will be a very busy day, and the Jags have 3 picks scheduled for Friday, 1 in the second round, 2 in the third round as well. Let's get to that one painter. First Coast, paint the player. And who will the player that you're painting be? Not in the first round, but in the second round. And, well, here's what Daniel Griffith says. He writes about it on actionsportsjacks.com. Daniel's doing a great job with all the different articles. Go check them all out. All the draft coverage, the different players that he's discussed and highlighted that we've talked about here on the show. You can go back and really get a good read on what the Jags need, some of their holes, some of the value of the different positions, some of the value of the different players, from Travis Hunter all the way to today. And at number 36, I think Austin's going to like one of these names. And Luther Burden is one of the players in the mix here at number 5, most likely to get drafted or be available at that time. I think you'd run up the card, wouldn't you?
I would run up the card for sure. I mean, Trey Amos is a guy that you could definitely play right away as well. He'd be in competition then probably with Jarian Jones for that corner spot. Walter Nolan, we just talked about him. We drafted him ourselves. Yeah, I mean, there's some quality dudes there, Brent. But if you're asking me which one I like the best, assuming that you don't take a wide receiver in the first round, then yeah, go and give me Luther Burden in the second round.
Yeah, and what's interesting here, Austin, is I think based on what we just did and based on who's available and everything else, corner could be a need position. Wide receiver, I think, is a need position. Mm-hmm. Burden could be a tremendous value, but Walter Nolan could be really good value. So this would be, if this scenario paints itself, what an interesting debate, I think, in the room, right? Do you go get a top 20 kind of talent and Walter Nolan with the value there and help, especially if you didn't take Mason Graham, right? Mm-hmm. Assume they took Genty here.
Correct.
Or do you go, hey, we really need more help on offense, Liam Cohen-centric team, get Trevor more help, pair somebody with Brian Thomas Jr., and go Luther Burden. And I know you like that, and we like that. And I kind of like that too, but I think it would be hard to pass up on Nolan, but maybe the red flags there tilt you in a way where Luther Burden makes the most sense.
For sure, but at the same, I mean, and depending how the Jaguars feel about each of these players, could you fall back a couple spots and still get the other one? You know what I'm saying? Where if you're in the position where it's like, all right, team really wants Luther Burden or team really wants Walter Nolan, could you trade back a few spots and still land the other one? I mean, if that's the case, you get more capital, but that's obviously a risk as well. But the point here, I think that Dan Griffith is trying to make is you have some first-round talent, I believe, that's going to fall to you. Now it's just a matter of pushing that right button.
Yeah, and who knows? Like, there'll be some surprises. This is obviously what is the most likeliest, but somebody else is going to drop. Somebody will move and be available. They're like, wait a minute, now I know that name, but what will be the reason they drop? Where it's just overreaction from the public that said, hey, this guy should be higher? Or is it a red flag? Or is it a medical? Like, again, there's so much that you just don't know, and we wouldn't know that they would have and be privy to the information. So I think the one thing I've learned over the last, probably for a long time now, especially the diehard folks that like we interact with most on an everyday basis, they really like the day 2 stuff. Now, some really like day 3. There's like a next level that like the day 3.
Sure.
But the day 2, it's like people get excited about the day 2 guy, and it's easy to get excited about the day 2 guy. And I think, again, they'll have options where, especially with 3 picks, that you're talking about instant impact. Like, how important is it day 2 for you to find instant impact with what they didn't do really in free agency, right? They were raising the floor in free agency. So how do you try to get closer to your ceiling? Well, you do this maybe in the second and third round with potential really good football players that you found a little bit later than the first round.
It's everything, Brent, right? Like, yeah, obviously the first round pick, it should be your layup. But when you're coming off of a 4-win season, and we can blame the coaches all we want. They're gone now, okay. But you still have a lot of the roster turnover from last year. So whoever you take in that second round, that third round, you expect them to play right away, right? So this is why, and I get the whole center thing. Like, do you take a chance that maybe the third round get the best center of the draft and just say, you know what, we're gonna develop him and then play him next year? Possibly, but the goal should be to win the division this year, right? Like, that's, if I'm Liam Cohen, I'm not worried about next year. No. I'm not worried about the future. Like, I need to come in and try to make a statement. So the second round pick and the third round pick, I'm expecting some major contributions right away.
All right, so there it is. That's from Daniel Griffiths. He writes about it on actionsportsjacks.com, by the way. And you can read all about it, read all of Daniel's writings. And that won't stop. This wasn't just a draft thing. So there'll be plenty of Jags content still to come. That is the That One Painter First Coast. Paint the player. Which player will it be in round one? Which player will it be in round two? Make sure you check out thatonepainter.com/first-coast. You can give them a call as well at 904-643-3025. All your painting needs from Jacksonville Beach to Middleburg to San Marco. They've got you covered. They love what they do. Stress-free, mess-free for you, respectful on your time and communication. Oh, man, I think that's so important. And value-based pricing. Great time to paint inside or outside right now in Jacksonville and Northeast Florida. So do it with That One Painter First Coast at thatonepainter.com/first-coast. Brent Martineau, Austen Lane, Jason Hamby, and where are we going, Hamby?
All rise.
Oh, no, not Judge. By the way, did you see he's hitting
All rise.
So what?
He's hitting 384.
All rise, please.
I'm not getting up.
You're getting up.
For the honorable?
For the honorable.
We have to really get up?
Yeah, you got to get up.
Who am I getting up for? Don't hit your head on the lights.
Oh, I know. It's happened so many times.
I don't have to worry about that.
Hey, anytime now.
Here he comes.
Okay. So there we go.
What is this?
Mozart, looking good?
Santa Claus has entered the building?
Did I tell you to sit?
We're supposed to stay seated?
In my courtroom, you sit when I tell you to sit.
I am. I'm standing over there in the corner. Judge,
are we lawyers or are we defendants? What are we doing here?
You'll find out.
Well, I have to know how much I have to respect you or not.
You may sit.
Okay.
Thank you.
Holy cow, you guys. My associate justice tells you to stand. You stand. That's Hamby's role here. He's associate judge. All right, here's the deal, gentlemen. It's pretty straightforward. I'm going to give you sports topics.
Okay.
One of you will argue the for, one of you will argue the against. Whoever goes first gets to choose which way they want to go. Sometimes in court, you have to defend someone that you know did it. That's just the way that it is. So you may not like the side that you get, but you got to argue for it. Understand?
Understand.
Right. Here we go. All right. Your first topic is about Ashton Jeanty and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Brent, you'll start. Should the Jacksonville Jaguars draft Ashton Jeanty?
Yes. the Jags should draft.
And the prosecution rights.
Yeah, we're done, right? Listen, we talk about intangibly rich. We talk about production value. We talk about best players. The Jacksonville Jaguars need blue chip players on their roster. Do they have some? Maybe. Do they have some right on the edge? Definitely. Do they have enough? No. The blue chip players help you win big. Look at what the Kansas City Chiefs have done. Look at how San Francisco went to 4 championship games in a row. Look at what the Philadelphia Eagles have most recently done. This is a blue chip guy. He's a top 3 player in the draft, and you can get him at number 5. That means value. You said you wanted to run the football. He helps you run the football. You need to get a yard. You haven't done it in 3 years. He can get a yard. You want to make Trevor Lawrence better? He makes Trevor Lawrence better. You want better offensive line? He makes your offensive line better. You want somebody to tandem with Brian Thomas Jr.? He helps you do that as well because defenses have to focus on him. It worked with Leonard Fournette in year 1. It will work with Ashton Jeanty, just hopefully longer than it did with Fournette.
Order.
The defendant here brings up the Kansas City Chiefs. Like you're supposed to believe that was actually a good call of bringing in Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Like it was a good call of bringing Isaiah Pacheco. Both first-round picks? How are those guys done for the Kansas City Chiefs? Ashton Jeanty is a giant risk at pick number 5. How many running backs have been taken in the top 10 in the past decade where they've had the direct influence on their team? What has Bijan Robinson done for the Atlanta Falcons? I'll ask it again. What has Bijan Robinson done for the Atlanta Falcons? And we want to say Saquon Barkley, and we want to say guys like Derrick Henry and Chris McCaffrey having the big effect. Well, McCaffrey's been hurt, Derrick Henry is on a new team, and Saquon Barkley is also on his new team. What did he do on his respected team for Saquon Barkley? He got hurt, didn't help the Giants out at all. Ashton Genty is a giant what if for the Jacksonville Jaguars. You can go wide receiver. You can help out Trevor Lawrence. Make no mistake about it. The draft should be about helping out Trevor Lawrence. So then give him a wide receiver, because I'm pretty sure the hit rates of a wide receiver, maybe even like the top 15, are a lot better than the hit rates of a running back. Give me the analytics, give me the percentages, and give me the guy that's going to help out Trevor Lawrence. Give me a wide receiver in the first round over Ashton Genty.
Jump.
What was that?
No further questions.
Justice Hamby?
Huh?
I'm talking to Hamby now. You had your time to speak.
Sorry. I thought you were talking to me.
You talk when I tell you to talk.
All right.
Hamby, your thoughts.
The court, or what are they called?
Jury.
The jury, by a 10-9 round,
okay,
rules with Austen Lane.
and I want Ashton Genty too. Yes, I can lie with the best of them.
I agree with your rule. Austin gets the first one. Next up, Nico Harrison has been accused of being the worst GM in the history of sports, but that's not here nor there. He traded Luka Doncic for no absolute reason, and then admitted to not knowing that the fans loved him. So that's pretty wild. But the question here is this: was it fair for a reporter to ask Nico Harrison why he shouldn't be fired? Is that a fair question to ask in a press conference? Austin?
Why he shouldn't be fired?
That is
okay, gotcha.
You didn't see this question?
No, I saw it, but I was like, why should you keep your job? But yeah, same thing. Okay. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Was it fair? Gotcha. 3, 2, 1. Okay.
You just talk. Don't waste time in my courtroom.
Sorry. Okay. I think it was fair and it was justified for the reporter to ask Nico Harrison if he should be fired or not, because let's be honest, we're all thinking it. And the purpose of the media is that they should be the mouthpiece of the fans. They should be the mouthpiece of society. If I was thinking it watching that press conference, I guarantee Dallas Mavericks fans were definitely thinking it of like, well, what does this guy what has he done to actually keep his job? Because keep in mind how this press conference went. Before it, he was so out of touch by saying, I didn't know the blowback of Luka Doncic was going to be so crazy. How could you not know that? He's 25 years old. He put the team on his back to beat Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves. This guy was your future. So when you say asinine comments like that, people are going to question, well, if that's how you really feel about it, how can you possibly keep your job?
Yeah, but Nico's not turning around and asking, should you keep your job for asking the question? I think there's a line to be had here in journalism and the questions that are asked. I mean, the people on the outside are not going to fire Nico anyway. The question would not go to Nico on that. The question would then go to ownership on that, whether his job should be extinguished or not. So I don't think it's the right of the journalists to play fandom and say, hey, the whole world thinks that you should be fired, so I'm going to ask the question whether you think you should be fired. Which, by the way, I think has somewhat been the case here in Jacksonville with Trent Baalke. A similar question might have been asked. Well, who the hell is going to sit there and say, yeah, I think I should be fired? In fact, in this debate right now, I hope Hamby picks you. I think I'm going to lose. Why would anybody think that way? You shouldn't even be asked that way, because you should be asking the right people that question who are in charge of making those kind of decisions. He's not in charge of making that kind of decision.
The jury.
Yeah, that is questionable. Justice Hamby.
In a 10-9 round, rules in favor of one Brent Martineau, because there are certain questions that should not be asked within the press conference or within the courtroom.
Kangaroo court.
He's just reading the statement from the jury.
It's a kangaroo court.
Hey, one more outburst like that, you're done. Now, personally, I'm not going to take you out of here, but I'll get somebody that will. All right. Next up.
All right.
The case of John Cena. It's simple. John Cena just won his 17th world title in World Wrestling Entertainment. Is he or is he not the GOAT of wrestling? Austin, you have the floor.
No, actually, Brent has the floor. No, it's back to me? Because I went first last time.
You're right.
It's Brent. Sorry, Your Honor.
Yeah. Even when I'm wrong, don't interrupt me.
Do I argue for or I pick my battle?
You pick your battle.
So for the same thing in round 3 as we did in rounds 1 and 2, starter pick.
I thought the starter had to defend the thing.
No,
first round.
No, it's dealer's choice.
Oh, okay.
Casey, Judge.
Yes.
Judge Kurtz. That actually kind of sounds real.
Judge Kurtz, yeah.
Have you seen me? It's real.
Yeah,
I can see you on CBS,
I didn't know. It's
over
either
some
President Washington or Judge Kurtz.
over some small claims,
I'm no different than Judge Judy.
That's what I'm saying. Small claims over like an installation project that's gone wrong and everything. You want to get your money back?
What a joke that John Cena is considered the greatest of all time in the wrestling world. I mean, 17 championships? I didn't know that, by the way, until the other day. That's because you had to look it up. We have way bigger champions in the sport of wrestling, going all the way back to Hulk Hogan or other people way back in the day that should just are bigger to the sport, more impactful to the sport. I mean, The Rock alone, look at him. You don't need 17 championships to be the greatest champion of all time. I don't think that's got to do with anything. You don't have to be the most yards to be the best running back or passer of all time in the NFL. Just because you have the most trophies on the shelf, the most statistics, doesn't make you the greatest of all time. Ask Karl Malone. John Cena, to me, in the wrestling world, is Karl Malone. Not the great, just really, 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 really good. Give me all the other guys from yesteryear in the championship world.
Do I have to say anything? No, okay, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Okay, yeah, I can only bury myself here. So listen, John Cena to me was like, and I love my stepfather to death, but like to a lot of people, he's like a stepfather to WWE. You don't like him, but you have to respect him. And that's how I feel about John Cena. I was never a John Cena guy, but the resume speaks for itself. He has the most world titles of any wrestler. And if you want to talk about what it took to get him to that point, yeah, I get The Rock is up there. The problem with The Rock, though, is he was ushered into the WWE. He had his grandfather, his dad, his great uncles, everybody in that family was around Vince McMahon and wrestling. John Cena had to do it on his own. And sometimes the cool thing about wrestling is that you blend real life with storytelling. John Cena is a real life underdog. This dude was a bodybuilder making peanuts, living in his car, and said, you know what? I'm going to try to be a professional wrestler. He came in with a ruthless aggression, if you will, and he was kind of on that mid-card. Not like The Rock, who was elevated from day one. John Cena worked his ass off. He built himself, and you know what? He got to have the record of 17 world titles. And keep in mind, we talk about sports entertainment. Yes, Hulk Hogan is big. Hulk Hogan, in terms of movies, what did he do? Thunderlips and Rocky? We're all good. How many Fast and the Furious movies has John Cena been in? How many TV shows has John Cena been in? He bridges the gap between sports and entertainment. He is not the Karl Malone, not even close to it. He is the Michael Jordan. He is the Tom Brady. And much like people these days, you may not agree with it, but you have to respect it.
We don't even need to go to the judges' scorecard. That one goes to Austin.
Just,
Yeah, this jury happens to be on the younger side and the younger demographic who believes that any title won with a single elbow back in the 1970s and 80s shouldn't even freaking count. John Cena's the GOAT.
Yeah, that jury also believes LeBron James is the greatest of all time.
Calm down. Nobody told you to speak.
That's about outburst, and I don't appreciate
this
it.
This is a kangaroo court. I'm telling you guys, kangaroo court up in here.
Don't have another outburst. I got a mallet, and I'm not scared of you. I am scared of Austin. Last one, straightforward, simple. I guess, Austin, you'll start. Who will be the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers week 1?
Oh, man. So when you talk about the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers, 3, 2, 1.
That was good.
Yeah. And listen, the Pittsburgh Steelers are ready to win right now. Okay, if you look at who they got, bringing DK Metcalf in is, by the way, something you don't really do in bringing in a high-priced wide receiver, a high-priced guy who has a little bit of an ego about him, a la Antonio Brown. You see how that went for the Steelers organization. You bring in a guy like DK Metcalf. There's got to be a plan. It's nobody on their roster right now. A lot of smoke right now with Jalen Milroe. I'm not believing it in terms of he's going to be the starting quarterback. If I'm the Pittsburgh Steelers and I'm going to risk it for the biscuit, I spent all this money at wide receiver. I have George Pickens as well, so I got to make him happy. And I have the wild card of Arthur Smith, who's probably going to use Pat Freiermuth like, I don't know, the Jacksonville Jaguars use Brian Thomas Jr. I'm going to need a guy to sling him the rock. The only guy available that I know, at least what I'm kind of getting, is going to be Aaron Rodgers. You may not like it. You may not like the off-the-field things, but guess what? You invited the off-the-field things when you drafted George Pickens. You invited the off-the-field things when you have a guy like DK Metcalf. You invited the off-the-field things when you hired an offensive coordinator that every single fantasy football player who drafted Kyle Pitts absolutely despises. So with all that being said, give me the surest thing that there is right now. The surest thing is Aaron Rodgers.
If he ever gets out of ayahuasca, maybe he can make his way to Pittsburgh, but instead he won't have to because Aaron Rodgers is going to retire and the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers is going to be Shedeur Sanders. This latest draft droppage that's happening to Sanders fits perfectly for the Pittsburgh Steelers. It'll remind you of a draft 20-plus years ago when they took Ben Roethlisberger in the first round. He was the 11th overall pick, but he came with question marks too because he was out of Miami of Ohio. And now the Pittsburgh organization gets a chance to reset their quarterback position, which they haven't been able to do too many times, specifically in the first round. And they'll do that with Sanders, and they'll set him up kind of the way Caleb Williams was set up, but maybe even better. They've got a coach that knows how to coach and win. They got an offensive line that's better than Chicago had, and now they build weapons around a quarterback and a young quarterback to make him successful, much like Chicago tried to do in their second rendition of picking a top-flight quarterback when they put weapons around Caleb Williams. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are better suited traditionally, culturally, coach, offensive line, players, and now Sanders can walk into a more comfortable situation that allows him to have more success early. You don't put as much on him. By the way, much like what happened with Big Ben Roethlisberger, where he didn't have to be the guy right away. He could grow into that role of being the superstar quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He had early success, remember, but it wasn't because he was throwing for 350 yards a game and 50 times a game like he did at the latter stages of his career.
Justice Hamby, you're ruling.
The jury would happen to like to have more time.
Hung trial?
We might need secondary statements.
Bring it back again? Okay. So just keep going?
I need one sentence. One sentence.
Okay, can it be a run-on sentence?
In 3, 2.
Wait, yeah, so I'm going first again, or is he going first?
You're going first.
Okay, gotcha.
You have one sentence to convince the jury.
Wish this judge would control the courtroom, dude.
Okay.
Hey! Brent loses.
No, I got it. One sentence. Okay. 3, 2. Okay. They may draft Shedeur Sanders. But when has it ever worked out where a quarterback fell deep in the draft and he comes in right away where he has success? The Pittsburgh Steelers need success. You bring in Aaron Rodgers to groom whoever is going to come after him, but Aaron Rodgers is a sure thing right now. And keep in mind with Aaron Rodgers, he had better totals than when he left Green Bay. He left Green Bay that just took a chance on him with less numbers than he produced this last season. It wasn't all his fault in New York. That was one run sentence.
All right.
41-year-old, washed up, on his way to retirement quarterback, or a 22-year-old comes with swag, and you can redo the 20-plus-year-old draft of 2003 or 4 with a Big Ben Roethlisberger and a Showtime Shadur Sanders. Sanders time in Pittsburgh.
George Pickens has one catch the first game and burns down the stadium.
I don't like that he said swag. Hamby, what do you got?
Yeah, he's been. We can hold him in contempt for the outbursts.
Oh.
We can hold him in contempt for the misuse of Gen Z terms. We can hold him in contempt for having terrible takes on 3 or 4 rounds. The jury would like to side with Austen Lane.
I was going to say jury's taking way too long to announce it, but it's all good. I appreciate it.
The ruling is official. Austin takes the first edition of whatever we're calling this. So
Holding court. Can you please send me to jail after that, please?
Yeah, all right, guys, come on in. Get the cuffs on him.
Hey, I'm not going to lie. Casey, is it kind of warm in that? I'm Judge. Are you warm right now?
I'm glad you corrected yourself. Call me Judge. Yeah, it's
toasty because I'm warm.
I might need a haircut after this. Anyway, this court is adjourned.
You've never looked better.
Nicely done, man. This is fun. Commitment to the bit. That's what it's all about.
Commitment to the bit. Ronald McDonald will be the Pittsburgh next QB. All right, so what do we got?
Someone said they're having PTSD.
From the courtroom?
From the courtroom. Yeah, I love it.
Man, we got courtrooms and private investigators today on the show.
Yeah.
All right, here's the deal. As we put a bow on this thing, we'll be in tomorrow at 10 o'clock. So we got a 24-hour window here, a little bit less than. We're on draft day. Nobody's made a trade yet. Will we see movement tonight? Obviously, there's some people saying that the Jags might move, or does Denver want to move up, and Chicago. Like, obviously, those kind of things are going to get hot. I'm saying, does it happen before draft day, like tonight, basically, or early tomorrow morning, where now people know, okay, a move has been made? The one thing that's interesting about this draft is you got to go all the way back to the early 90s to not have had a trade in the first round happen by this juncture. Mm-hmm. So this is very late in the game. Where trading, I'm sure the phone calls have happened, but the actual move of a trade has not happened to this point, which is pretty unusual.
Yeah, I mean, I think if something does happen, it's got to be tonight, right? I think there's a couple possibilities for the Jaguars. They obviously stay where they're at, which is probably the favorite. They trade Travis Etienne, which then you know what's going on, right? Like, they're all in on Ashton Genty. Or they trade the 5th pick, which then they're out on Ashton Genty, you would assume. I think those are the 3, those case scenarios. And I think if we're going to, predict it, I think, number 1, the favorite is they stay. I think number 2 is they get out of the 5th pick. And number 3 is they trade Travis Etienne.
It's one thing we didn't. Mojo said he thinks they keep all 3. I know you don't. You think there's a move. There's a domino move if they were to get Genty. Mm-hmm. I kind of thought they could. Back when we started this, I was like, you could keep all 3. You could make Etienne into your 3rd down back.
Sure.
Right? Or find ways to use all 3. You need depth there. Can they realistically keep all 3? You don't think so?
I don't think so because, I mean, yeah, you could, Brent. But, to me, the way I look at it is you could get some capital for Travis Etienne who's not going to be there next year. Right, so you essentially have Travis Etienne on a 1-year rental. Is he worth that much, or would you rather get something for him?
Yeah, well, you know how I feel. I'm not sure you're worth the 6th round. I mean, what are you getting out of 6th round pick? I think Travis Etienne's a good player. I'm a big fan of him. Can you make it work? Can you make the dynamic work? If you think the dynamic can work, then you're a better football team if you keep Travis Etienne on your roster. Then you go get a 6th round pick that might be a special teamer.
Well, dude, if it's a 6th round pick, then yeah, just keep Travis Etienne. But I'm saying if you can maybe get
that's
a
what's 4th, be, right?
You don't think it's gonna be a 4th or something?
Not. I don't think you have a lot of leverage if you're shopping because you're going to get Gent. You know what I mean? I think.
Yeah.
How many people are asking for that?
I mean, a starting running back for a 4th round pick.
You start bringing 4th round pick or something like that, maybe.
Yeah.
maybe that is true. And I don't know. I don't know what the value is. It
45.
just doesn't feel like with his contract situation and everything else, it would be that high.
I feel like, and I also have a gut feeling that if the Jaguars do take number 5 and it's Ashton Genty, there won't be a commercial. If they trade back down, now maybe we're in we're Tet McMillan or whatever the case, expect a commercial.
Hey, by the way, Best Bet has the Run Good starts tomorrow, so check out bestbetjacks.com. It's a 10-day tournament, a big tournament. We'll actually be there next week live with the show, so make sure you check out bestbetjacks.com for the latest on that, especially if you want to get in a lot of money on the line at Best Bet. Just go to bestbetjacks.com. A lot on the line over the next day or so, too. Thanks for hanging with us on the Brent and Austen Show. No gate fees at 2. And we got Cup Date at 1, a week with Action Sports Jacks at 1:30 on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network, and then a full day tomorrow. Make sure you hang with Action Sports Jacks.
Are you about to graduate high school and haven't decided on what you want to do when you get done? Well, one option is to apply to become a student in the Electrical Training Alliance of Jacksonville. Their program offers structured classroom and online training, along with on-the-job training so that you can earn while you learn. Still not convinced? The folks at ETA Jacks are a tuition-free 4-year apprenticeship program. There is no tuition and no student debt. Just pay for your books and your fees. That's it. Now, speaking of pay, students, they start off making $40,000 per year, including benefits, and they graduate, get this, making over $80,000 per year, including those sought-after benefits. Now, that sounds pretty good to me, and if that sounds good to you, it should check off a lot of boxes. So head on over to etajacks.org and apply by May 15th. Again, the website right here, etajacks.org. Don't wait, apply today.
People helping people. It's at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From the start in 1954 to today, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. I had a chance to see that commitment firsthand as Alive partnered with our Action Sports Jacks 24/7 team to bring you Armada men's and women's soccer broadcasts. Inside the 18, it is a shot, and it's a goal! Chloe Chivers. And that connection to the community continues with Alive Credit Union's support of the Police Athletic League of Jacksonville. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of all first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Save 10% off any water heater, plus no trip charge. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. For a limited time, CGC is waiving the trip charge on all related plumbing calls. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
For the game day hustle and every day in between, juggling my show Jags Social to going under the Friday night lights and a social life, it's a daily tournament. But this ride, MVP status. The all-new 2024 Lincoln Nautilus isn't just my car, it's my personal locker room, office on the go, and VIP lounge on wheels. Let's talk tech. My profile remembers everything from customizing my dash display to setting the ambient lighting and my signature scent. And wireless charging, essential for live tweeting scores. Whether I'm packing for a beach day with friends or heading to the gym, there's space for every passion. After dominating all day, this becomes my recovery zone. The massage feature is like having a personal PT on call. Life's a non-stop game, but with this ride, I'm always on my A game. The 2024 Lincoln Nautilus drive